But he's not overjoyed.
Oh.
He looks at it as, this was my job, I did my job, and now it's over.
Yes.
But people were trying to explain to him that he should be more excited that a bunch of fun stuff is coming. And he said, what do you mean? Now, this exchange is the most honest exchange from an athlete I have ever heard. It's about the parade on Thursday. This is a reporter talking to Nikola Jokic after the game.
When is parade?
No,
Thursday.
Is that not it?
Nah.
You said after the Lakers
That's
win,
it.
you said you were surprised that you didn't feel more. So I'm curious what you are feeling right now, and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Hello. Okay.
No.
Wow.
And so here's the question.
Yeah.
If you own the Nuggets,
Yes.
if you're Stan Kroenke,
Stan Kroenke, right.
and Nikola Jokic comes to you today, and he says, Mr. Kroenke, this has been the longest season of my career.
Yep.
I got you the championship. I really want to go back to Serbia.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to get on a plane and go. Do you mind if I skip the parade? What do you say?
I say I don't mind, but I think thousands and thousands of fans are going to mind. You're the reason they're coming to this parade. You're the reason there is a parade. So, if you want to let those fans down, go ahead. But it's for them.
I'll make it up to them next year when we win another title.
Okay. If you want to disappoint fans, you can disappoint fans.
I think they'll forgive me because I just won the NBA Finals MVP.
Yeah. I think it would be very disappointing for him not to be there.
But would you make him go?
No, I wouldn't.
Bergman, would you make him go?
Absolutely.
You can't make him go.
Sure you can.
I don't
You
even know if
absolutely-
it's contractual.
No,
Is it contractual? Does he
Yeah,
have
it's probably like what we have in
does he
our
have a
contracts,
parade
like you
clause?
need to be available for station events.
Oh, well,
Yep.
if it's in his contract,
Like-
then I say,
like-
go pound sand, you're
Flip-flop.
here.
Like if you gave Michael and I the option to not go to the Mandy's, we
Right.
wouldn't have gone. But
Oh, come on.
No, we wouldn't have. But we went because it's part of what we do. It's like you're expected to be there.
Right, I mean,
Huge
that's
parts of the station.
Once
He's
again,
huge
Right.
part of the game.
But
you need
it's
to
a
be
chance
at the
to
big
interact
event.
with
But-
our fans.
But I'm not Jokic.
Right.
I'm not the reason that we're successful.
You're
Right.
one of them.
He is, though. He is the main Jorge, would you make Jokic go to the parade?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I would leave it up to him. I'd
guys
say,
are soft.
we'd love to have you there. But if you're really itching to go home, you've done everything for us, go ahead. We'll put something on video and let you go.
Yeah.
When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Hello.
Oh, Mason, and you should see him. He's got his hands in his
yeah, no,
he's
I've
got his
seen it.
face in his hands. He's like, no. Are you kidding? This is another obligation of mine. He looks at this, and you can tell in all the interviews he did last night, he looks at this as his job, and he feels like he's done his job, and he wants to go home. I'd let him go.
Want to bet he's
When is
there?
parade?
I'll bet
Thursday.
I think his agent will tell him he has to go.
I need to go home.
I need to go home. Yeah, no.
Guess
his
where you're
agent's
not
gonna-
going, Nicola? You're not going home till after the parade on
And
Thursday.
after this, now they're talking about moving the parade to Friday.
Oh, are they really?
Well, then you're not going to the parade till after. You're not going home till
By
after
the way,
Friday now.
Is it me or was it just kind of? He was just kind of joyless.
No, I think he was happy. I mean, like he threw Jamal Murray in a pool and he was
Right.
spraying champagne and stuff. But I think he looks at this as like there was one quote. I don't know.
Well,
if you
there was one quote from Lisa Salters that I thought I put in there in her interview. He said, how does this feel, or whatever the generic question is. He said, we did the job. I'm happy we won. Now I'm going home.
right. And there was another one where he said, I just don't think this is the most important thing in the world.
Right.
He goes, I'm happy and I'm excited for my teammates and we've done this, but I think that there are more important things. And it appears to me that one of the more important things is that he gets to go home. I mean, put yourself in his shoes. If we were playing basketball in Serbia,
Right.
but America's our home.
Sure.
The minute we win, where like you dealt with this in baseball.
Yeah.
I one time worked a game between the Padres and the Dodgers
Mm-hmm.
at the end of a baseball season when neither one of those teams were going to the playoffs.
Right.
Joe Carter was on the Padres. This
Oh,
is how
wow,
long ago
yeah.
this was. And Carter walks up to me before the game, and he goes, "You need me?" I go, "Yeah, but I'll get you after." He goes, "Let me tell you something. He goes, nobody's going to talk after this game. And I go, well, a lot of these guys don't talk before the game. He goes, they'll talk tonight. And I went, what do you mean? He goes, I got a 10:30 flight back to Ohio.
Yeah.
And I went, 10:30 tonight? I go, Joe, the game starts at 7. He goes, this game's going to be over by 9 o'clock. And I went, what are you talking about? He goes, we've worked it out. We're all swinging at the first pitch.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He goes, if there were playoff implications, it would be different. But this is the last game of the year. Guys on both teams have red eyes tonight. Like,
right.
It's been a long season. We can't wait to go home.
Yep.
And I think Jokic looks at it that way. He looks at it like, okay, my job is done. I did it really well. Now let me go home. And
right,
so.
But that is I mean, if playing NBA basketball is just your job and you want to go home, I think you're missing out on a lot of the joy that goes along with winning a championship. I didn't see a lot of joy from Nikola Jokic.
I think
he treated it like he left the MVP trophy on the stage.
You know who he is, Greg?
Left.
He's Michael Thompson?
No, he's Drago from Rocky IV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you also see in the afterwards when he was in the locker room with the champagne bottle? He half-heartedly shook it and then just gave it to somebody else.
He was so not into it. He was so not into it.
All
but
right, here you go.
We could say,
God, I don't like that at all.
But
that really actually annoys me.
What we could say to him, hey man, you need to enjoy this more. If he wasn't so frickin' good at the job,
right?
I mean, that's why I would let him go home. There are nothing in his performance indicated that he shortchanged anybody.
No, not at all.
He was hands
But he
down
would be shortchanging the fans if he didn't go to the parade.
But I don't think he's obligated to make the fans happy. He's obligated to win.
Yeah, I think that you play for the fans. A lot of people paid $200 a ticket or whatever it was all season long.
Right,
a lot
but
of people
he delivered
tuned
to
in.
those people.
Right, but this is your opportunity to celebrate with them directly. And
even if he doesn't want to.
Yeah, even if he doesn't want. We all do things for a job that we don't want to.
Right, but I think what he would say.
Ask Michael Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, Michael would say the same thing. Michael would say, once my job is over,
sorry, it's in my contract. I have to go. If it's in Nikola Jokic's contract that he has to make appearances, then he has to go.
That's a good question. Well, I know in the Laker contract,
most people don't put a parade clause in the contract.
No, there's not a parade clause, but I know in the Laker contract, and this is negotiated through the players' union, is they have 3 what they call mandatories. So 3 times they can come to the players and say, this is a mandatory F-shot, but they can't do it more than 3. So I know one they do a sponsor event in the preseason at Pechanga. They do a golf tournament that raises money for the Lakers Youth Foundation.
Right.
That's a mandatory. And there's one more that, but past that, you can't. It's completely up to the player's discretion if they want to go or not.
Well, Momo decided, I guess she wrote an article about Nikola Jokic.
Yes, she did.
And she just pasted all of it into our text message thread.
Yeah.
The entire article?
The entire article.
Wait,
and I asked for
Ramona,
the cliff notes, but I don't know if she's going to give me any of that. She sent 3 different screenshots of full article.
Yeah,
I don't think we're reading it on the air.
What is your thing, Mace? TLCR?
TLDR. Too long, don't read. TLDR.
Love you, Momo.
Even the text is too long.
Only Ramona could send a text message that's too long.
All right, coming up next, John, I have a serious injury I'll describe. Plus, does Chris Paul stay in Phoenix? Does he go to Boston? Does he go to Brooklyn? Does he go to the Clippers? Does he go to the Lakers? Woj has got the latest. That's coming up next for you. Based in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, so I have this friend who runs football at Amazon. Okay, his name's Mike Mariano. Mike texted me last night. He goes, I've heard you make many, many exciting calls, but I've never heard you so passionate about trying to get me to go to the store and buy Bibigo. And the reason for that is, Mike and anyone else listening, is it's great. It's bold, authentic Korean flavor. Bibigo is the official game day snack of the Lakers. Whether for a meal or a snack, Bibigo is the perfect way to flavor up your next get-together. America's favorite and #1 Asian snack brand. Bibigo believes that good food brings people together, and there's no better way to share than to get some premium, delicious Korean flavor. You can find Bibigo at your local supermarket, Target, Walmart, or Costco. Try this stuff. Bergman and I had it a week ago Monday, and we're still eating it. Bibigo, the official game day snack of the Los Angeles Lakers.
afternoon. Sandwiched between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
I'm genuinely touched. Yeah, I am. I'm genuinely touched. Thank you for that. So, Ireland, I have an injury. I don't know the degree of seriousness at this point.
Yeah.
But I have a probably a grade, I'm just guessing, grade 2 hamstring strain.
Okay.
Does that sound about right?
No.
Grade 2.
You'd be limping.
Okay, so what, a grade 5?
No. There's only 3.
Grade. I know it's got a grade. I don't know what grade
You're probably a grade 1 if you're
grade
not
1.
limping.
Okay, it's grade 1. I'm not limping. And I did it in the weirdest way, sleeping. When I woke up this morning, my hamstring was so tight, and I swear I don't know if it's frayed, I don't know if it's strained, what it is, but my walking's off. Have you ever injured yourself during sleep?
No.
This is a new one for me. Now, I can get injured in a lot of different ways. I always thought
you are a klutz at
I always
heart.
thought bed was safe for me, but apparently
not.
Even bed is hazardous.
There's no way you can't get hurt anywhere else. I mean, I've gotten Charlie horses while I was sleeping, and that's annoying.
Yeah,
and
no,
hurts.
I mean, I'm telling you,
But
right here.
how did you? What could you have?
Hamstring insertion right at my ass. I'm like, oh.
But what could you have possibly done while sleeping to hurt your hamstring?
That's
You're
a
not
good
like
question.
running.
Well, I must be like rolling over and tossing and turning and
But
stuff
that's just
like that.
rolling and over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
not
a
putting
bad-
any stress on your hamstrings.
It was a bad roll. Bad roll.
Are you like a dog where you're on your back and like chasing after rabbits?
Well, maybe. I
right.
I don't have a complete image, but
So,
I do.
We were able to get Ramona to summarize
good.
the thing. She said basically, Jokic is just self-conscious. He doesn't like attention. He also grew up during the war in Serbia, so when he says basketball isn't everything, that's the context.
Yeah.
He's actually very funny. He just has no desire to make things bigger than they are to him. Good for him.
Yeah, good. Well, that
Cool.
explains a
Still
little
show
bit of
up.
stuff. Yeah, you still got to be at the parade, dude.
No, you don't.
Seriously. Be
Yeah.
at the parade.
If you play like that, you can do whatever
Be
you
there,
want.
celebrate, do it for your fans. All right, so, John, there's going to be a lot of conversation about Chris Paul over the next couple of weeks because Chris Paul...
Yeah, today's the 13th. We'll probably know by the 1st, right?
Yes, Chris Paul...
The 28th is the day they need to either release him or trade him by.
Yes. So Woj appeared on, I don't know if it's First Take or one of those shows, and this is what he said on CP3 and the Suns.
Hey, Greeny, I'm told that the Phoenix Suns and Chris Paul, his representatives, had a series of conversations today to start discussing his future in Phoenix, including the possibility that the organization could use the waive and stretch provision on his contract prior to the June 28th date to guarantee his contract. If he's waived ahead of that date, the Suns only owe him $15 of the $30 million on his deal. That creates some salary cap space over time. Now, Chris Paul wants to remain with the Suns. He wants to be back with Devin Booker, with Kevin Durant. But right now, for the Suns, they want to look at a lot of alternatives, some options between now and the 28th, including trade possibilities. They're going to have talks about DeAndre Ayton. Can they move money around that would allow them to either keep Chris Paul on that roster or find a trade where they can build out their depth? But I'm told Chris Paul and his reps, they want an answer on his future sooner than that June 28th deadline. They want to know if they're headed into free agency, where he would be certainly very coveted, especially with the two teams in LA, the Clippers, the Lakers, where he still keeps his offseason home. The Suns have a lot of work to do between now and June 28th, but they let Chris Paul know today there is a possibility he could be waived. Right now, though, Phoenix would like to find a way to financially keep Chris Paul on this roster.
Okay, so that's interesting. So in other words, Chris Paul would like to stay with Phoenix. Phoenix is going to look at options, but ultimately they are interested in Chris Paul coming back as well at a lower number. If they waive his contract and stretch it, that's not possible. They have got to.
They can waive him. They just can't stretch him.
They can't stretch him, exactly. Yeah. But he mentioned the two LA teams. What's your sense on Chris Paul and the Lakers?
I think that it is going to be looked at.
Yep.
I heard somebody hit me with an interesting theory the other day,
Okay.
saying everybody knows that LeBron and Chris Paul are really close.
Yeah.
But the other kind of best friends in the league LeBron had were Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade. When Dwayne Wade came to Cleveland to play with LeBron, it didn't work, and they ran him off. When Carmelo was available, the Lakers at first didn't get him.
Yep.
Then they did get him, and then they didn't bring him back.
Yep.
So somebody said to me, Chris Paul and LeBron are good friends, but if they play together, that friendship might not survive. So, that's part of this, too, is whether or not they want to take their friendship to that level. Because it didn't work with Dwayne Wade and it didn't work with Carmelo. And LeBron's all about winning. So, if he comes, they would need to win.
I don't think it's happening. I don't get this. My sense is it's not going to happen. My sense is that the Lakers are going to look at some other options at point guard, but I don't think Chris Paul is coming, although we'll speculate. And I would love the idea of Chris Paul on this roster. Guy to play, 20, 25 minutes a game during the regular season. You expand those minutes during the postseason. I know that Greg Bergman, before he was in favor of Chris Paul coming to the Lakers, he was against it. So can you still state your previous argument about being against Chris Paul coming to the Lakers?
Are you for it or against it now? Where are you at today?
I've always been the same. For that 15, 20 minutes that he would be on the floor, I'd be for it, especially at a low rate.
Yep.
I just don't think he's going to demand more money than the money that I would like him at, and so most likely no.
But here's the thing. Apparently the Lakers can offer him more than the Clippers can. But the issue then is, does he really care about the money?
Yeah, he's made over $400 million.
He doesn't. I mean,
I don't think he needs it.
I don't think
he's also
needs it
old
either.
enough that he's like, all right, so give me as much money as I can possibly get still.
Right.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
you're now back in favor of Chris Paul.
I was always at it at 15 to 20 minutes. That's
DeAndre?
never changed.
What about DeAndre?
DeAndre's a little snitch.
Yeah, DeAndre. I want to have a whole segment called DeAndre Snitches.
No,
And
it's called DeAndre's Dirt.
DeAndre's Dirt.
Dirty
It's great.
DeAndre.
DeAndre.
He just walks around the building and talking to people, and then he comes in and tells us all about it.
DeAndre's Dirt is a great feature.
Man.
I am all about that.
Yeah,
All
I
about
think
that.
that'd be a big hit.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to throw him under the bus. Where's the podcast? They never released it.
You know what?
They didn't even have their after
They didn't
party.
even have an after
They
party.
are all
Where were you at,
talk,
Cody?
and no, they are all talk. Cody, when the hell
Wait.
does the podcast?
They didn't even have an after party?
They didn't release it. They didn't have an after party. They didn't do nothing. He's all talk.
They are
talk. Yammer, yammer, yammer.
It's the only podcast ever that no one talks.
Yeah, yeah. No, they've
Does
got
really well on
they've got
Apple.
a backlog of guests, and they're not doing any shows, which is
Basically,
incredible.
everybody outside of Ireland who would do it on any other day
Yeah,
is
on any
willing to
other
go
day.
do it.
Yeah, apparently
the
they're
rest
having
of us
trouble.
would do it, but they can't even get the thing started.
Do you have a good song for Chivatos?
There's I'll find it. I
Yeah,
have
do you got one? All right.
We'll play it under DeAndre's Dirt.
Oh, nice, nice. Is DeAndre in today?
DeAndre in today?
Oh,
yeah, he'll
DeAndre
come in
is
later.
All right.
Hopefully
We'll
he's
get some-
listening and finding out how much of a Chiva he is.
Get some dirt from DeAndre. All right. Coming up, we're going to do the Wheel of Questions. John, I wanted to I found an amazing piece of sound. I've never heard this story before. You may have heard it. It's from Jerry West in his own words, and it's about Kobe Bryant. That's coming up after Wheel of Questions. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
And it is the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Jorge, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it!
Oh, boy.
Okay. If you could only use 3 condiments for the rest of your life, what would the 3 condiments be?
Very tough. Very tough.
All right, so first we have to establish what qualifies as a condiment. For example, is butter a condiment?
No.
Salt and pepper?
No.
So it's got to be like ketchup, mustard, steak sauce,
All
stuff
that
like
kind of
that.
stuff, yeah.
Well, why isn't salt and pepper a condiment?
that's
Isn't
an
a condiment anything you put on food that
Well, I
isn't
don't know.
already
It's
on there?
seasoning.
Yeah,
Is
but it's
that-
like an ingredient.
Yeah, isn't seasoning
But wait a minute.
different from...
My idea of a condiment, Jorge, you cook a lot of food, is anything you put on the food after it's presented to you
Right.
is a condiment.
Hot
So in
sauce,
that
ketchup.
case, salt, pepper, butter, they may all be in the original dish, but if you put...
But you can't add them on.
Right. So, with that in mind, ketchup, I'm not losing ketchup. Ketchup's one of my 3. I think there's enough butter on everything, although I did eat corn on the cob last night, and I rolled it on top of butter, and there's nothing better than that.
That's the best way.
But then, am I going to lose salt or pepper? I like salt and there's enough salt. Okay, so my 3 are going to be ketchup, pepper, and
I thought we established pepper.
no, it is. It's anything. It's if
he wants to add pepper,
it's anything. Condiment.
Yeah,
The
it's his
definition of a condiment is anything you put on food after it's been given to you. Okay.
Okay, so if it's already in there.
So it may already be in there,
ketchup, pepper,
and butter.
So like on a salad, if you add pepper, then
Right.
it's a condiment.
Which I always add pepper to a salad.
Okay. Bergman?
Yellow mustard, Worcestershire sauce.
Do you use a lot of Worcestershire sauce?
I've used it enough that I like it.
I do like Worcestershire sauce.
I
All
like
right.
it a lot. And also,
just Greg, say Worcestershire sauce 3 times fast.
Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce.
I can't even say it once right.
That was pretty
Worcestershire
good.
sauce.
That was actually
Worcestershire.
pretty good.
How do you spell it?
It's like
Forget it.
WRCHES.
What do you
not
put it? What do you put it
WRC,
on?
by
That
the
can't
way.
be one of your 3 condiments for the rest of your life. What do
I
you
can
put it
probably
on?
put it on anything. I don't know. I just really like it. I
Okay,
just know whenever I have
Worcestershire
it, I really
sauce.
like it. I can
It's
put
just not very practical. It doesn't go on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. And Russian dressing.
Russian dressing.
What?
I
No,
love
again, what? How many things can you put Russian dressing
okay, first
on?
of all, okay.
Reuben. A Reuben is great with
But
Russian
also, when
dressing.
you're dipping fries, it's much better in a Russian dressing than it is into.
But see, I have ketchup to dip fries in, so I'm okay.
Right, but
Jorge,
that's
what are your
Russian
3?
dressing is a better flavor.
I'm going hot sauce. I gotta have.
That's
hot
a good
sauce.
one.
Yeah.
What
Cholula.
particular hot
Cholula.
sauce?
Cholula.
Cholula is the one,
Cholula's
yeah.
the one, exactly. I'm going Cholula. I'm going ketchup, and then I'm going with. Oh man, barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barbecue sauce.
I am going to go Cholula, number 1. I am going to go ketchup, and then I'm going to go blue cheese dressing, which I love with wings. I love with fries.
I just realized we're leaving a lot of good stuff out.
Like
technically, chocolate sauce would be a condiment,
chocolate
right?
syrup.
Yeah, chocolate
That would be
syrup.
good.
So we're
We
giving
don't
that
need
up.
Good
it.
one.
It's not necessary.
You can live without it.
I mean, it's no
Like
work.
I
Worcestershire
could live
sauce.
without it. I just don't want to.
Worcestershire sauce.
I don't even know what I.
Why
put it
3?
on.
Should have been 5.
Should have been for no.
No.
That
3
wasn't
makes
on
it
the
harder. You want it to be harder.
Yeah, you want it to be harder.
By
By the way,
I love A1 with steak.
A1.
And I just gave up A1.
You know what though? A great steak. I
But
don't
a lot of
think
times
it
I don't
needs
get a
sauce.
great steak. Like if I go to like Chili's, it's not going to be a great steak. I need A1.
Yeah, no, it's true. You know, I just noticed something. Then this could be key. I wish Dr. Clapper still worked here. So I've got
still
some.
call him.
I've got some knee pain that goes along with my hamstring. So do you think it's the knee or do you think it's the hamstring? And it
Alex
goes-
McKechnie,
Yeah.
who is the Lakers, medical guru who fixed Shaq's
Oh
abdomen,
yeah,
would
he's the
tell
one
you
that does the bands.
would tell you that it's all connected. That if your knee breaks down,
Yep.
it can lead to a hamstring pull.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. It was a really rough night of sleep. Very rough night of sleep. All right, so, John, I don't know if you've ever maybe you know this. Maybe this is common knowledge. But Jerry West went on the Paul George podcast.
Yep.
And he told this story about Kobe Bryant and what might
Now keep in mind, At the time this story happened, Jerry was in charge of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Right, 2004, and Kobe was an unrestricted free agent. Listen to Jerry West.
He became a free agent, and his agent then was Rob Pelinka. So I met them in Orange County in a hotel room, and he said he wanted to come to Memphis and play basketball. Really? And I looked at him, I said, you kidding me? Yeah. And he said, no. And I said, Kobe, no. You belong somewhere out here, okay? And even though he would have never played there, I just wanted to reassure him that don't feel like you have any obligation with me or the Grizzlies to play here. I guess in some sense that might have been tampering. I didn't look at tampering because he was at our house all the time. He ate at my house all the time. I felt more like a father figure with him. I had a wonderful relationship with him. Forget it as a basketball player. I love what he stood for. His commitment to excellence. He wasn't afraid of failing. Once you get afraid of failing, you're going to fail. He was not afraid.
Okay. Do you know that story, right? That
I hadn't heard it until this week. I didn't know that he but I also know that Kobe was the most confident athlete I ever covered. So he
probably thought if he went to Memphis, he would win.
Right. He thought if he played with the four of us, he would win.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he was just supremely confident in his ability. So
even me with my injury history?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then he would scream at you when you didn't pass him the ball or you missed open shots.
Yes.
But he was one of a kind in that regard. But it surprised me because most GMs would have gone the other way. If Kobe would have said, "Hey, I want to come play with you," like, okay, let's make it happen.
He basically was
Jerry
reverse.
was looking at the big picture.
It was reverse tampering. He told him not to come play.
Yeah,
here.
when he said that, he goes, "That may have been tampering." Actually, it wasn't. It
no,
was
go away.
Yeah,
that was go away.
It was reverse tampering.
Yeah,
You're
exactly,
right.
exactly. So, guess where we're going this weekend, Ireland?
I have no idea.
Vegas. We're going to Vegas this weekend.
Why?
Because we've had some really mellow kind of vacation-y things, and we wanted to do more of a trip. So going to go to Vegas this weekend. I'm going to try to go see Bill Maher at the MGM on Saturday night. They're gonna set my soul, gonna set my soul on fire.
Yeah. Wait, you think Vegas is overrated?
No.
Elvis is overrated, yeah.
No, I love Vegas.
But we don't know where to stay. Like, where do you stay when you go to Vegas? What's your choice?
Well, most of the time when I go to Vegas, I'm going for the Lakers preseason games.
Right.
So we're at an MGM property because they have a deal with MGM. So there's like 7 or 8 MGM hotels there. But if money was no object, I'd probably go to the Wynn. The Wynn? Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Bergman, do you go to Vegas? Are you a Vegas guy?
Yeah, I like Vegas.
Where do you stay?
I stay at the Delano, which is connected to, was it the Four Seasons is above what hotel?
Oh, the Four Seasons is secretly in the Mirage, isn't it?
Right, and the Four Seasons in Vegas has no
Mandalay
casino.
Bay.
Mandalay Bay.
So
There
right
you
next
go.
to it is the Delano, and the Delano is awesome. Has a great pool.
Yeah.
And it's walking distance to all the big
I
hotels.
want a pool. It's supposed to be 100 this weekend. I want a pool, but I don't want it to be a pool where they're playing really, they're playing bangers nonstop.
Yeah,
really,
so you
really
don't want to go to the
loud.
Hard Rock pool.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't
Go to,
even
like,
think.
Was it Red Rock, Red River?
No.
something?
Four Seasons is perfect for you because there's no casino and there's no noise.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, do that.
Jorge, when's the last time you were in
The
Vegas?
last time I was in Vegas, we stayed at the Cosmo.
Like
that
it?
was pretty cool.
Juan was looking at the Vidara. Is that a place?
I don't know. I haven't heard of it.
I heard it's, maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. They got so many new places there. But I haven't been to Vegas in probably a good 10 years. I haven't been to Vegas.
Well, I go every year for the Laker thing.
Yeah.
And we're going back this year. They slipped it. So the preseason schedule isn't public yet, but they slipped it to us for planning purposes, and there's going to be one game in Vegas next preseason.
Yeah.
I think I'm allowed to say that.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's and that's always like the big gathering of sponsors and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so Vegas this weekend. I'm excited about that. All right, so John, actually let's do it this way. We're going to do 2 o'clock call of the day in a minute here. I wanted to mention a story that you sent through last week.
Okay.
A guy named Chris Licht.
Yeah.
Who was the head of CNN. His boss took him on a walk through Central Park, and he got canned on this walk.
Yeah.
So the question is, is this a good way to fire somebody, a bad way to fire somebody,
Oh, I'm glad you
decent
brought
way
this
to
up.
somebody? What do you think?
I don't think there are a lot of good ways to fire somebody. It's the firing that matters. I've always said, like, people say, I remember one year John Robinson, the USC football coach, wouldn't answer his phone because he knew they were going to fire him.
Right.
And so when he spoke to the media, he goes, they fired me over the phone. Well, it's because you wouldn't answer the phone.
Right. I thought they fired him by fax.
Well, I just know that they didn't. Mike Garrett never spoke to him directly.
Exactly. And
everybody said, well, that's a terrible way to fire somebody. Is there really if you're getting fired, does it matter how you get fired? You and I have both been fired in life.
Yes.
If you're fired, what you remember is you got fired. I really don't. Like, do you think if you had to fire somebody?
Yeah. And I have.
Okay.
Obviously, owning a business and all that stuff.
Do you make them come in to the business so you can do it face to face?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's just so.
It's chicken bleep not to.
I think the opposite. I think you just did that so you can feel better.
No, I did it so.
If you were going to fire me, if I worked for you and you decided, all right, I got to let Ireland go for whatever reason, I'm making too much money or I screwed up or whatever, and you call me, you say, hey, I need you to come in tomorrow at 9. I got to talk to you about something.
Right.
And I say, okay, I'll be there. If you were going to fire me, and that's the purpose of this, you can do it over the phone. I don't want to make a trip down there specifically to get fired in person. I think you're doing that just so you feel better about yourself. It's a lot like when you break up with a girl and, like some people say there's good and bad ways to do it. I guess there is.
There are good and bad ways to break up.
But at the same time, if your goal is to break up, like, you don't have to take them on a trip to Hawaii and then break up with them there.
I'm not saying that. By the way, I think the walk through Central Park is totally fine. That's a fine. It's a great place to be fired.
Yeah, David Zasloff, the guy who fired him, also hired him on a walk through Central Park.
There you go.
Chris Lick should have seen it coming.
He had to know it was coming. Yeah, Bergman, what do you think? Is there if Ireland
Greg,
scenario?
if I'm gonna fire you, if I'm your boss, I'm gonna fire you. Is it right to make you come in and do it in person, or am I doing you a better service if I say, hey, we're going to make a change. If you want to come in, I'm happy to talk to you about it, but you don't have to come in.
I think it's better to do everything in person. It may make me feel better, but also then you don't have the option to be like, they didn't even have me come in. They didn't even say it to my face. They did it over the phone. What kind of garbage
I
is
think
that?
people get upset when it's impersonal. That
exactly.
Yeah, if I'm getting fired, I want the way that it's most convenient for me.
What?
Hey,
go
I'm
to
Bob
Kuntz's office?
Come in, or do you want to do this on the phone?
Well, he used to say he liked firing people.
I liked firing people.
What about that, Ireland?
What?
Hey, I'm probably gonna fire you. Do you want to come in, or do you want me to do it over the phone?
No, don't. You wouldn't say probably. You would say, hey, we're making
Definitely.
it.
If I were to fire you, in person or over the phone?
Yeah, I would have you do it over the phone because then I don't have to come in.
You'd be like, great, you're fired.
And then it was easy for both of us.
Yeah, see, I want it in person. I want a big production. I want a PowerPoint presentation that shows
Larry Gifford
short.
would be your man.
There you go. There's a guy.
I think you would lose your mind if like, let's say you got fired from here, which you can. You have a contract and all
Yeah.
that. But like, if you fire, I think you would just lose it. I think you would just start.
Do you think I
throwing
would?
Things.
I don't think I would.
I think you'd start.
No.
Oh, somebody,
really
Jesse
upset.
Hyman, who just wrote to us.
Oh, I know Jesse.
Remember the George Clooney movie Up in the Air, which was about
yeah.
firing people, and they decided to do it on video?
Yeah, Anna Kendrick was in that
Yeah,
movie.
and she had her speech all rehearsed, and when she started to do it in person,
Yep.
is when she got into trouble because they would come back at her like, I'm 56 years old. What the F do you think I'm going to do with my life?
Right,
And she
right.
put her in all. So she said it was just easier to do it over video.
What about Greg on Succession, just doing like the entire
Right.
company over the Zoom?
Right. I think
one big
that's
Zoom.
easier. Then you don't have to come in.
Yeah.
You're all fired.
I guess,
But there is something to it.
I guess in this day and age, Zoom is a perfectly reasonable way to fire. We do so much business by Zoom.
Yeah.
you can
Somebody
do, like,
asked me
Hey,
today.
click on this link, you're fired.
Somebody asked me today what, golf took off during the pandemic because
Yeah.
it was something you could do outside. And we were just talking about what businesses were the biggest benefactors of the pandemic. And somebody said, well, that's easy. It's Amazon.
Right.
But Amazon was going to be big anyway. I think it was Zoom.
Yeah, I think Zoom.
I think Zoom became...
Especially like if you watch TV at all, now all the guests are on Zoom. It's
Right.
like you don't have to go into the
It
studio
changed
anymore.
the production value of things.
Yeah.
Right.
I was reading, you mentioned golf. I was curious because you love golf. You love you some golf, and you love you some Vanderpump Rules.
Yes.
So
Both things.
which thing had more viewers, the Vanderpump Rules finale
Okay.
or the final round of the last major?
RBC, which was an unbelievable ending.
the PGA. The
last major.
The last major. It's close.
Yeah. I think it would be close. If I had to guess, I would just guess, and this is all it is, Vanderpump, because women watch Vanderpump, and a lot of women don't watch golf.
Yeah.
More men watch golf than Vanderpump, but both men and women watch Vanderpump.
Yeah, it was Vanderpump 4.5 million and the PGA final round 3.9 million.
Yeah.
So it was
well,
not
you know, the
exciting.
next major is in 2 days, and it's here.
It's right here
in Beverly Hills,
LA Country Club. I've never even been to LA Country Club.
You definitely can't get in as a member.
Right? No. I wouldn't become a member. I wouldn't spend that kind of money. That's got to be
no. But I'm saying they wouldn't have you even if you wanted to, because you can't have at that particular club. You can't have any notoriety. You can't have any level of fame. They don't
believe me. I fall into that category.
No, they don't want any actors. They don't want any newscasters. They don't want any people. They don't. Greg, you would have difficulty getting in if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yep. How much do you think it is to become a member at LACC?
Over $200,000 a year. Not a year. Over $200,000 to join, and then you pay monthlies. Ooh. There's a place.
So you've got to be not famous and spend $200,000 to get in.
Yeah, and you got to jump through a bunch of hoops. They would interview Juan too.
Oh God,
because they want to see who.
Well, he'd be great. He makes a better impression than I do.
Yeah. Well, they want to see who you'll be bringing around.
Yeah.
You know, and that's so. But that's the hardest club in LA to get into.
Yeah,
but it's a beautiful course.
Yeah. I've never even been invited to like the clubhouse for a meal or anything like that.
I one time was eating there, and I played golf, and I went into the clubhouse. I was eating, and the waiter comes over and taps me on the shoulder, and he said, "Hey, can I talk to you over here for a second?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Sure." And I thought he was going to say something along the lines of, "Hey, I listened to the show. It's great you're here, blah, blah, blah." Had no idea who I was. He goes, "I'm going to need you to go put your shoes on." I had flip-flops on because I just played golf, and golf shoes can be hot on your feet.
Right.
So I took them off, and my feet were under the table. He goes, "We only allowed closed-toed shoes in here." And I said, "Do I have to wear socks?" They said, "Yes." And so I put my socks and my golf shoes back on and went back in and ate.
Wow. So
I mean, that's how strict it is.
By the way, bad news for everybody at the U.S. Open and LA Country Club. Chris Morales will be in attendance this week.
Sure, you won't have to look hard to find him.
All right, coming up next, 2 o'clock call of the day. What do you got, people? 877-710-ESPN. We talked a little bit about Chris Paul, talked a little bit about Kobe, going to talk some Dodgers, kind of whatever you got. 877-710-ESPN. Maybe you were at the Mandy's and you want to talk about something you saw there. We'll get some calls. We'll get a call in here next for the 2 o'clock call of the day. 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-ESPN. Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN. right, 2 o'clock call of the daytime. What's up, people? Thanks a lot for being out there listening. If we missed you, thanks for coming to the Mandy's. We had fun on Saturday night. And don't forget our big 7:10 All-Star softball game is coming up for you. We have not announced the date.
Yeah, they did.
Did they announce the date?
It's
All-Star Friday night?
Yeah, did they announce it?
July 7th.
July 7th.
Friday, July 7th.
I never want to jump the gun on everybody.
It is always going to be the Friday before the NMLB All-Star.
Okay, excellent. So July the 7th, get ready for that. That's our next big thing. In the meantime, John, pick a number from 1 through 5.
5.
5 is Ken in Newport. Ken, you're on 710. What's happening? Don't ask us how we're doing.
I won't, and Colonel Del Mar is still waiting for you, John.
Excellent.
You guys were talking about Jokic, and
Yeah.
for 18 years I've been married to a Serbian woman and got to know all of their Serbian relatives.
Mm-hmm.
They all moved over here because they were dropping bombs, and I say they, meaning the United States, on their home. And, of course, Yugoslavia, which was once a very prolific country, changed during wars, and there's been a number of wars. Serbians have a different attitude than maybe somebody from another area or another country. And when you hear Jokic saying, I just want to go home, there's a reason. And a lot of people complained about Djokovic, the tennis player. They said, he doesn't have normal attitudes.
Right.
Got to realize that a lot of that is because America was dropping bombs on their families.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
In fairness, that's not what was going on in the former Yugoslavia. That was the Croats and the Serbs, and it was not, and the Slovenians. It was not the United States dropping bombs. In fact, the United States were part of a peacekeeping mission in that war that went on.
Why, Greg? Why'd you drop them?
Oh, it was just a mistake.
We're having a conversation, a geopolitical
a
conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
We were not dropping bombs on Serbia, but they did have a terrible war.
Yeah, and back to the point about Jokic. That's why if he wants to go home, I'm surprised you guys would make him stay.
Yeah, no, I would make him stay. This is not just for Stan Kroenke. It's not just for Nikola Jokic. It's for all those people that have invested so much time, energy, love, money into the team, and they want to see the team's biggest star that just led them to a championship. So, yeah, I would demand that he be there.
All right, let's go to Ray in Coachella. Hey, Ray, you're on 710 ESPN. Don't ask us how we're doing.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Ray?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, just like that. Hey, what's up? That's it. That's it.
All right. Are we done?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. You people, literally, he said, don't ask us how we're doing.
And he said, hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, immediately. And we've been doing this for quite some time now.
Yeah, we have.
Saying right before.
Wait a minute. In fairness to him, is how's it going the same as how you doing?
Yeah.
All right.
How's it going? How you doing? Are those not two things close enough to be?
It reminds me there was a Seinfeld once where Kramer was going into a bank, and Stephen Root, who's a great actor, was running the bank, and the bank had a deal with if you don't get greeted with a hello, you get $25.
Yeah.
So Kramer walks into the bank, and the guy behind the counter goes, hey, what's up? Kramer goes, you did not greet me with a hello. He goes, no, I said, hey, what's up? That's a greeting. He goes, it's not a hello. So they take it to the bank manager, to Stephen Root. And he goes, what exactly did you say to this man? He goes, I said, hey, what's up? And Stephen Root looks at Kramer. He goes, it's a greeting that starts with an H. How about $10? Done.
All right. So after 110 years, Pat Sajak finally retiring from the Wheel of Fortune.
It's 40 years. Which is surprising. By the way, this, and I've never meant anything more than I mean this.
Yeah.
This is a job you should absolutely go after. God. Do you understand how great of a job this is? Here's how this works. Mm-hmm. Pat Sajak works 2 Saturdays a month.
2 Saturdays a month?
This is how it works.
Oh, my God.
They do.
It's a lot of off days.
Okay. They do. He gets there at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And they do. Remember, these shows are only 30 minutes.
And the wheel just starts spinning.
Yeah. So he does.
Not the same story.
5 shows in the morning.
Yep.
And 5 shows in the afternoon, and that covers the next 2 weeks.
Woo.
Then he comes back
2
weeks later and does the same thing again, and that covers the rest of the month. And he gets paid like $40-50 million. That is the dream job.
So you know what's weird about this? I am terrible at Wheel of Fortune. Like at night, I think it
Well,
goes,
that doesn't mean you couldn't host it.
It goes Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, or Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy. Jeopardy, I get some right answers. Jeopardy, I'm actually fairly decent.
Right.
Wheel of Fortune,
Which is harder.
You can give
Jeopardy's
me
harder.
all the friggin' letters. I got no idea what's going on. I just don't have a puzzle.
Apparently, a lot of people are lobbying for Vanna White to take over as the host.
Oh, well, she would be a totally reasonable suggestion for a host.
Yeah, but what'll be interesting is, do they replace Vanna, or now that everything's electronic, would the letters just turn?
Oh, no.
You need a letter turner?
That's a skill.
They had
the Vanna thing
Pat's,
is a skill.
They had Pat's daughter fill in for Vanna when she was on vacation
Nepo
a couple
baby.
weeks ago.
Nepo baby.
She's like Morales.
Yeah, like Morales. Nepo baby. My dad's Pat Sajak. Let me turn the letters.
Yeah, I think she did have a leg up, so to
she
speak.
definitely did. All
that
right, well, we wish you luck if you're trying out for that job. I'm not trying out for the job because
I think
I'm
you should.
just terrible at it. You should be able to solve a puzzle in order to become the host.
You ever hear Sajak tell the story where he says, they said, what's the biggest mistake anyone ever made? And he said that every letter in this name except the L's, the two L's, were the only ones that weren't turned over yet.
No.
And it said Abraham Incan. And
No.
Wait a minute. Stay with me here.
Okay.
Jorge, look for this, because Pat Sajak, type in Pat Sajak, Abraham Lincoln, and he said, the girl goes, I'd like to solve the puzzle. And he says, okay, go ahead. And she says, Abraham Binkin.
No!
And Pat Sajak goes, all right, I'm going to give you another chance because I want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Yeah.
But please enunciate clearly on this answer. Go ahead and try and solve the puzzle again. And she goes, Abraham Binkin. And Pat Sajak goes, I'm sorry. And then the next person spins
That
and
is
solves.
just
And he said it
amazing.
just happens
That's
that
amazing.
people get brain lock.
Yeah.
And they figure that they've got something, and you're on a stage with lights and
Oh, yeah, people cheering and, all that. I'm sure you get totally psyched out. Abraham Binkin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need the sound anymore, so perfect.
Perfect. Thumbs up. All right, coming up next for you, Dodgers pitching staff has not been good.
That's an understatement.
But you can't believe how not good it's been. That's coming up next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Stop using the word stop?
No.
Oh.
That was confusing. Stop using this word, irregardless. Irregardless
It's not a word.
is not a word.
Yeah.
And I got an email from somebody who you think would know better yesterday, and it bugs me when I see it because it means it's not a word, right? All you
Correct.
need is regardless. You don't need irregardless.
Irregardless is not a word.
Yeah. Bergman, do you ever use irregardless?
No.
Good.
I just say regardless.
Regardless is all you need.
What is irregardless supposed to mean?
The same thing as regardless means.
Yeah, you're just
what's the
adding to
ear?
it.
You're just making the word longer.
All right.
All right, so there you go.
What does MO mean?
Oh, MO, that's a good one. Don't give it away. So, Bergman, MO, what does it mean?
Modus operandi?
Oh, you looked it up.
No, that's what I told him. He just took my answer. I don't even know if that's right, by the way.
It is. I think it's right.
Okay.
You guys were like movement operations.
Mason's objective.
Mason's objective. That's
You know,
another
all
good
those
one.
things aren't inaccurate.
No,
they
they're
would
all-
kind of apply.
well, they work.
Mission objection.
Mission
mission
objection.
objective.
Objective, yeah,
Objective.
is a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it is modus operandi, I believe. All right, so Ireland, the Dodgers.
Yeah, it is modus operandi.
The Dodgers pitching staff has not been very good. This is no secret to the world. But how not good has it been? So, John, if you go back to the history of the Dodgers franchise.
Okay. Like even going back to Brooklyn
Going
kind of
back
thing?
to Brooklyn, going back to 1901. Where do you think this year's Dodgers team ERA ranks? It's 4.49, by the way, is the team ERA.
The team ERA.
Where does it rank all time in terms of worst?
Bottom 10.
How about worst of all time?
No way.
Worst of all time.
Ever.
The second worst was 1958 when the Dodgers had a 4.47 ERA.
And they were good in 1958. That's weird.
58. By the way, I want to credit Houston Mitchell, who sends out a great newsletter and had this in it today. Okay, worst bullpen since the Dodgers moved to L.A. is what?
I would think that's now.
That is now.
Yeah.
I mean,
the bullpen, like I read one stat that said Dave Roberts, since he's been the manager of the Dodgers, so what is that, Greg? 8-9 years, roughly, somewhere in there, had given up 10 runs in a game, something like 9 times.
Yeah.
And they've already done it 9 times this year.
That's amazing. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they have their worst bullpen ERA in history, 4.76. Second worst was 1958. 1958 sounds like it sucked.
No, they were good.
No, they're 71 and 83.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, 71 and 83.
Because in 59, I think they went to the World Series.
59, they obviously pitched better.
Yeah.
Because those numbers don't show up on the list. But that is really staggering. And I think of all of the missions that Andrew Friedman is going to tackle during this trade deadline, which is coming up, I think it's 50 days till the Major League Baseball trade deadline. There is nothing more important than adding bullpen arms.
He's done that almost every year he's been here.
Yeah.
And it's never been with any, like, huge, big names. He always goes out and, like, gets somebody like Adam Kolarek.
Yep.
So I think he'll do it again. I just wonder how soon can he do it?
Well,
you know, because the house is kind of on fire here.
They've lost 9 of 11. Most teams aren't necessarily in trade mode because virtually everybody is in it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Angels are a game out of the wild card at this moment.
You know what's interesting about the Angels? They've won 7 of 8.
Yeah.
And they won last night in Texas. Ohtani hit 2 home runs.
Yep.
So the exact scenario that you have been proposing for months is kind of happening now.
Yep.
That Greg and I both think they should have traded Ohtani a long time ago because his trade value would have been higher.
Yep.
I still think they need to trade him before the trade deadline. This is how I would handle
Do
it.
you agree if they're in it, you can't trade them?
I don't agree with that.
You do not
I think
agree
the
with
biggest, Greg, the biggest mistake they can make is letting him walk away for nothing.
Yep.
So what I would do is whatever your best offer is, all right, whatever your Godfather offer is to keep Shohei,
Yep.
give it to him now and say, you got a month to let us know. And if Ohtani doesn't take your offer, you leave them no choice but to trade you. Because even if they're making a playoff run and he walks away at the end of the year and you get nothing, it'll be the biggest case of negligence in Major League Baseball history.
Even if they're in it and they're in the playoffs.
Correct, because he's that valuable. The the haul you could get back for Shohei Ohtani is I don't even know what you could get. I mean, you've got to try and trade him. Now, if you don't get any offers that are worth his value and you want to hang on to him, then that's fine. But you got to put him on the market.
And by the way, Ohtani's not going to entertain offers during the season. He's made it clear. I'm not. I'm going to market.
No. But if you gave him, everybody's got a price.
Sure. If you
gave him $1 billion, he would sign.
If the Angels offered him, 10 years, $600 million, he would consider it. But he's not entertaining offers because he might get $650 from the Mets or $700 from the Dodgers or somewhere else.
Well, then you've got to meet that price. You've got to say, okay, what are you looking for? And he says, I'm looking for 10 years, $700 million. The Angels decide whether or not they can pay that. And if they can't pay it, you got to trade him. You can't let him walk for nothing. It's the equivalent of when Cleveland let LeBron walk for nothing. They were horrible for 5 years until he came back. If you want to be horrible, let Shohei Ohtani walk for nothing.
There's so many times that we've seen just in baseball in general where if you trade your best player, you actually get better. The Seattle Mariners got better when they traded Randy Johnson. They got better when Alex Rodriguez got traded from Seattle.
Right, Greg. The year after Bryce Harper left the Nationals is when they won the World Series.
True.
Ohtani is just that good. Like he basically
is that. I mean,
he won that game by himself yesterday.
Yeah, no, he is the best player in the game
ever.
Yeah, and probably ever.
So they're 5.5 back of the Rangers right now.
Yeah, but only one game out of the wild card.
One back in the wild card. Sure. So you're alive right now, but doesn't matter. I mean, you can actually change your entire franchise if you move him right now.
What would be your level of confidence in making a deal with Andrew Friedman if you were the Angels?
Well, I would just insist on. I would make
apart.
No. I would make a list.
Andrew Friedman would slice and dice Perry Manassian like there's no tomorrow.
So if I'm the Angels, if I'm Perry Manassian, I come up with here's my terms.
Yeah.
If you want to meet him, let me know, and if you don't, I'm going to another team. And my terms would be pretty steep. I would probably say, okay, so if I'm just sitting here spitballing, I haven't written this down, but I would start with. I need young talent that I don't necessarily have to pay yet.
Well, and under team control for a while.
Right. Yeah. So Altman's the first guy. I want, that's where I start.
If we are in a world where we must make a trade at the trade deadline for Ohtani or we're not going to get him at all, Altman's in the trade.
Yeah. Altman's in the trade. Bobby Miller's in the trade. And I see that look on your face, but remember who we're talking about here. That's where I start, Greg, with Bobby Miller and Outman. And if you're still on the phone, then we can keep talking. But that's where I'm starting.
But we've had this conversation a bunch, too, where, Mace, you're double paying for him.
Correct.
You're doing all of this.
Well, this is no, but did you hear the setup at all there?
No, I missed
the setup.
Cody was coming in
talking
about
the setup was if you have
what
to trade,
podcast?
If you trade for Shohei Ohtani because you have no choice, you must do it or you're not going to keep him.
Right.
Where does that package start? Outman?
Yeah, Outman is absolutely on there, but even right now, Outman hasn't been great. So
he's not.
That's why Bobby Miller's got to be in the deal.
Right. You have to go with those types of guys. You have to go Bobby Miller. You probably have to go with Diego Cartaya coming out. So you're talking like your top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 1 through 4 prospects to make it.
It's funny. The thing about Friedman is, he'll trade the ones that don't pan out.
Of course,
yeah,
he's going to trade.
Does. Although the one they
Josiah Gray, Keibert Ruiz. I mean, all these.
I can only think of one guy they traded, and then you look back and go, they shouldn't have done it, and it's Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah,
but other than that, every time they should, like if you look at the Boston trade for Mookie, I mean. Those guys,
right? I mean,
Alex Verdugo's been okay, but he hasn't been Mookie.
Yeah, no. Look at the Trey Turner trade.
Yeah, everybody said
Gray and
Keibert Ruiz, and neither one is especially good.
So, but I'm actually surprised because you've always said that your side hustle, you'd love to have a genie popped out of the bottle and gives you any job, you'd want to be baseball GM.
Yes,
I'm surprised that if you want to be baseball GM. That you would let Ohtani walk away for nothing, which is what you're advocating.
I care about winning, and that's right now. I've got Shohei Ohtani. This is my chance to win. You get him into the postseason. You can make a run. If you're close, look, if you're 5 games out of the wild card, trade him. If you're 1 game out of the wild card, you don't. You make a run with him.
Even if you're the third wild card team. So you're basically putting your whole season on. Do they still do the 1 game? I don't think they do anymore.
No. They don't do 1 game anymore, right?
Three,
it's 3-game series at the beginning.
Yeah, I just think that
Give me Shohei Ohtani in game 1.
The prospect of Ohtani. And by the way, Greg, if or Mace, you're the one that winced when I said Bobby Miller.
Yeah,
I love Bobby Miller. I think he's going to be a huge star. But Ohtani's as good of a pitcher right now as Bobby Miller.
All I did was wince.
Yeah,
I didn't say no. I just winced.
Right. Well, he'd be the hardest guy to give up.
Yeah,
because of what looks like. He's got unbelievable talent.
I try to shop him Dustin May before, and I know he's got an arm thing, but I
if
assume he's going to be okay.
If Dustin May and Walker Buehler weren't hurt, you probably could put those guys in the deal, but they are, and so you got to ask for Bobby
And
Miller.
by the way, I still think, if you look at, and the Dodgers, by the way, are home to the White Sox tonight. They've lost 9 out of 11, so this is a big chance to sort of dig back in and start a winning streak. I mean, ultimately, if you look at the starting rotation, assuming Julio Urias is back and healthy, he had a setback this last week, so he's not back. Dustin May is on the 60-day injured list. I mean, your rotation right now with Bobby Miller, Clayton Kershaw, Tony Gonsolin isn't bad.
Well, except it's
short.
Yeah,
it's short.
You need 1 or 2 more guys.
Right.
You know, they're just hodgepodge and everything. But
Grove hasn't been all especially good.
Well,
No.
I've said this though, Greg. If they get some people back, if they get Dustin May and Walker Buehler back, that's a really loaded rotation going into the postseason, if they can get there.
Yeah, but Walker Buehler and Dustin May, those two, if they do come back, I don't think they're going into the starting rotation anyway.
Well, Walker Buehler is almost certainly not. You think Dustin May's not? I assume he'll be back in the rotation.
I don't assume he's going to come back at all.
I don't think. I'm not counting on Buehler at all.
Either one of them.
I think Dustin May's coming back.
I don't think Dustin May comes back.
You think Dustin May is that what you're saying on the Blue Review?
I have said that on the Blue Review.
Yeah, you think he's
I don't
done.
think he's coming back.
I think nobody knows.
I mean, we don't know.
It's on the Blue Review though.
Right, and it's what I believe and what I think in my opinion.
Yes.
You know, having an opinion, Mace.
Right, a sense.
Yes.
You have a sense, as Andy Kamenetsky would say. Yeah, is the Blue Review up yet?
We did not record one today.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
you skipping a day?
What's that
day
about?
off for the Blue Review?
We skipped one today. We'll be doing it again tomorrow.
All right. We'll be there.
Just don't be like DeAndre and, forget about
Right,
doing it.
don't flake like DeAndre, Cody, and Parker.
All those guys.
Those guys
we
are
have a podcast
so
that we're not gonna
flake.
drop.
We have a podcast. Will you come on our podcast?
I'm going to go into the
Well,
studio and talk
let me
about
ask-
how I
let me
have
ask
Come
some-
to our podcast launch party.
Well, let me ask you this: do they have a podcast?
No.
Not until it's dropped.
No. As soon as I can listen to something, there's a podcast. If I can't listen to it, Cody's like, oh no,
Cody.
today we're
today.
doing
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Today we're doing a
Today
podcast.
drops today.
Who's your first guest, Cody? Pointing towards today.
Oh, you're doing it today.
Oh, they're
gonna
doing it.
record it today.
Oh, recording it
great.
today.
Oh, you're recording it tonight.
So, Cody, who's your first?
Oh, there goes another month.
Who's your first
Come here,
guest, Cody? Who's your first guest? First guest.
We don't have a first guest. We just it's the 3 of us.
Wait, it's the
us,
3 of you, and
Blueprint.
you. Now, what? So, as a potential podcast listener,
Yes.
why am I interested in what the 3 of you have to
Yeah,
say?
exactly.
Well, DeAndre said it last week. We kind of provide an insight on what it's like to be behind the scenes of talking in front of the talent, being behind the talent.
Oh, so you're just going to tell stories about us?
No, not you guys.
You're going to talk blank about us?
You would never do that to you, Mace.
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
that's what they're
seriously.
doing. Now I'm in.
That's
Yeah,
a
Now I'm in, Cody. Let me know what it's.
you guys did say where the radio is based off interest, not based off.
Yeah.
Of,
Hey,
having
Cody,
Yes, true.
send me a link. Now that I know you're going to talk crap about us,
It's
I want to hear it.
tonight.
Yeah, I want
You
to
got
hear
it.
it too. Take some shots.
tonight. You
Come
guys are
at
here
me.
tonight.
Yeah,
Come
all right,
at
send
me.
me a link.
Yeah. All right, Cody, nice work.
Yeah, we'll see you guys. Talk to you guys in a month.
Yeah, see ya. See
Yeah,
ya
well,
someday for your show.
yeah, maybe you'll have it up by Christmas.
Yeah. All right, coming up next for you, John, I have a great fear, and that is sharks. But apparently, I have no reason to be afraid.
I saw this, and I think it's a load of crap.
Okay, we'll do that coming up next. Hey, if you were recently injured in an accident, but you haven't called my friend Jacob yet, what are you waiting for? Not taking action is costing you money. What's that mean? Well, let's say you're injured in a car accident a few months ago. You thought the pain in your back would go away, so you never went to see a doctor. But now a few months later, the pain's getting worse every single week. The problem is, because it's been a few months since the accident, it is much more difficult to prove that your back pain was caused by the accident. Therefore, you'll probably have to pay for this yourself. Do not put yourself in this situation. If you're injured in an accident, call Jacob immediately. He will get you to a doctor with no money out of pocket so you can physically recover quickly and not have to pay for it yourself. Remember, a lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. Call Jacob. He'll win for you. 844-24-JACOB. 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 Or remember,
accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
And make sure you are following Call Jacob on Instagram. Go to @call.jacob for great advice and prizes and more. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
The most downloaded sports radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. And we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
I was so close to getting the solo show today. Mason. It was almost Mason and Friends, but John ran back with a cookie. There's always food at this place, isn't there?
Yeah, but it was Janessa's birthday, who's one of the...
happy birthday, Janessa.
Bergman goes, Mandy's are over. I'm eating whatever I want.
Yeah. Is that what
I dropped an F-bomb in
See,
there.
I am dead serious now. I'm dead serious now.
No, I'm eating whatever the hell I want.
I'm not eating whatever. You starved yourself for a week. I starved myself for a few days.
For 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, and
now
you
I'm
eating cookies now?
This might be my second or third.
It's just WTF, you're going.
Yeah. It's a crumble cookie.
Yeah, there you go.
Just delicious.
Excellent. Glad.
Wow.
I cannot eat anything at all. All right, let's see. So I'm terrified of sharks. It is my great fear in life, the idea of being in water and knowing something could be down there underneath me.
Yeah.
So there is at the University of California State Long Beach, there is something called the Shark Lab. And they use drones all this summer to study juvenile white sharks along the Southern California coastline. And there were no reported shark bites in any of the 26 beaches surveyed, actually going all the way back to January of 2019. So there are a ton of sharks, and they saw them on drone. Did you see the drone video of the sharks? Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. And they're all grouped together, and they're in two spots. The juvenile sharks swam near humans on 97% of the days surveyed. The sharks often swam within 50 yards of the wave breaks, closest to surfers and stand-up paddleboarders, and none of the sharks ever attacked, ever looked twice. all those baby sharks, those baby white sharks, are not killers.
Did you see Jaws?
I did see Jaws, yes.
Yeah, that's enough for me to stay away from the sharks.
Is
if you
that
tell
right?
me there's a shark in the water, I'm hauling ass out.
Are you afraid of sharks, Jorge?
Yes, I am.
Oh, baby shark.
Yeah,
there you go.
Baby shark.
Yeah,
Baby shark's cool, though.
I'm terrified of sharks. Totally irrational fear. Bergman?
No, I'm not. I like to go into one of those big cages and have sharks swim around you.
Okay, but you have a cage.
Well,
that's
that's fine.
completely different. I mean,
Yeah,
I would go
I'm
see
too.
a shark in a cage. I just don't want to see a shark cageless.
I am happy to go out into the ocean and swim around and do whatever. If a shark happens to eat me, so be it.
Oh,
but
there can't be a worse way to go.
I mean, it's probably not a great way
All
to
of
go.
a sudden,
but people
half your
survive shark
body's
attacks.
bitten off, and it's just you bobbing like a little bobber on top of the water.
What's the name of the surfer that got right back out there? Brittany?
Bethany Hamilton.
Bethany Hamilton. Yeah, I met
she's,
Bethany.
amazing.
All right,
She's
so
great.
apparently there is a front runner for Pat Sajak's Wheel of Fortune
Uh-oh.
job already.
That's breaking news.
Yeah. I bet you guys, but I'll give you guys each
George
one guess,
Sedano.
and one of you will get it.
Okay.
No, go ahead. What's your guess?
Oh, Drew Carey.
Good guess. Incorrect. Jorge?
I don't know.
This would not be surprising to anyone. As a matter of fact, it almost seems like the next logical step for this guy.
I got one.
Okay.
Rich Eisen.
No, I'm sure Rich would love to do it.
He would
He'd be good
great.
at it,
He'd
too.
be really good.
Greg, you got a guess?
George Sedano.
No.
No.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey's a good guess.
Yep.
The front runner, according to Uprocks,
Oh, that's good enough for me.
is Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, Ryan Seacrest. He has too many jobs.
But Whoopi Goldberg wants it, too.
She'd be good.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I think Ryan Seacrest has too many jobs, and he should leave some to other people. Although he's leaving the Regis and Kelly Lee show, apparently, right?
Already
Isn't it
left.
Ryan and Kelly Lee?
No, he already left.
Oh, did he leave?
Kelly's husband is in there now.
That's a nightmare. Could you do a show with Lisa?
No.
I could not do a show with Juan.
No, I mean, that's too much time with your spouse all the time. I mean, we'd drive each other crazy.
So it's
We
now.
already did this during the pandemic.
It's
We
now
don't do it anymore.
Regis Lee.
That's a good point.
Regis Lee and husband. Is that what it is? What's the husband's name?
Joe
Joe.
Philbin.
Joe.
I have no idea who it is.
What is the husband's name of Kelly Lee?
Mark Consuelos.
Mark Consuelos. Yeah.
Yeah, I was way off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great gig if you can get it.
2 Saturdays a month.
2 Saturdays a month is a great
It's
gig.
24 days a year you have to work.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow, Mace, somebody already on the YouTube changed their name to Steve Mason's pulled hamstring.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You knew it wouldn't take long.
let me tell you something. Okay, about this hamstring thing.
That was quick with it.
So
Nice job.
it starts right there, like right at the base of my ass, and it runs all the way down to my left knee where I've got knee pain, and it all happened when I was sleeping.
Yeah, I think you did something physical, and it just was a delayed response to show up. Did you do yoga this week or anything?
I did do yoga day before yesterday. But
I think you probably were not fully stretched when you did yoga. You activated something, and then in your sleep, that showed up.
Okay.
That's my official medical diagnosis.
Okay, good.
Of
good.
what happened to you.
That's Ireland vision.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what we should do?
We can still call Dr. Clapper even though he doesn't work here. You know?
we
If you,
can't. Bergman's
I'd rather
shaking his
call
head.
Dr. Alan Beyer from the Hoag Institute.
Oh. Dr. Alan Bay from the
I was
Hogan
once on
Institute.
Dr. I didn't even know. How do you know him?
Because he's going to have a show.
I
he's
was
gonna have a show.
I was once on his show, but it was on another radio station. He was on.
I
He
think
was on.
one
8,
day we'll
he
bring
was on
him in.
8:30 back in the day. The Angel station.
Yeah. I think so. You think someday I'll be able to get Beyer vision?
There will be no Beyer vision, but there will be.
Well, I think.
I think
No, he's a very nice guy.
When we
It's
have
like a
these types
stack
of things,
of
we'll-
Pringles,
we may
and
be
there
asking
is
him.
a gummy between each Pringle, and that represents the spine.
See, you can't beat that. Come on. Dr. Clapper's a great guy.
He is a great guy, but Beyer vision is coming soon to a station near you. All right, you got a decent What's Up fool today, Bergman?
I think it's okay.
It's just
There's.
okay.
By the way, have you heard about what's in this?
No, I know there's something. I don't know exactly what it is.
It's something that happened yesterday with the Rams.
Okay.
And it involves us.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
So that is coming up.
Okay, What's Up Fool is coming up next for you, brought to you by Dos Hombres, Mesa and Ireland, 710.
What's up, fool?
ESPN.
And now, the most anticipated drawing from Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Be like 5. What's up, fool? And we've been very excited that What's Up, Fool is made possible by our friends at Dos Hombres. In fact, we've got a special guest voice. Take it away, guest voice.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's Mezcal. Dos Hombres.
Look at that. How do I follow that? I don't. So I simply say, take it away, Corporate Greg.
Thanks, Morales. All right, so Mookie Betts and Bryce Harper exchanged jerseys after their game finished on Monday. I saw multiple stories about it. I was getting updates on my phone and social media posts all over the place about them exchanging their jerseys, which is, it's cool for what it is. It's happened a million times. But how much do you really care about this? Why am I getting multiple things about people sharing jerseys?
What was the gist of it? That they didn't like it? That they were fraternizing? Or said
no? There was nothing wrong with it. It was just a story about that they exchanged jerseys. That was it. There was no good or bad about it.
What's weird is I lost interest in the middle of the question. It's so boring. Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
Why are we doing this?
But people had an opinion on it, or they didn't?
No, it was just here's a story about two guys exchanging jerseys.
Yeah, I don't understand what the story is.
Well, that's what I understand.
Was that a headline?
Why are they writing it? That was. You want the headline? I'll give you the exact headline.
Jersey swap.
Pretty much.
Hey, Greg, you want to swap hoodies?
Yeah, swap hoodies. I got this hoodie too. I'll swap that. No, we don't need the story, Bird.
Mookie, Bryce swapped jerseys. Superstars embrace signed uniforms after Dodgers-Philly series.
That sounds like one of your goodable things.
And that's not even.
Oh, it's so nice. They get together. They swap jerseys.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Why is this
stupid
a thing
story.
that we're even?
Yeah, it's not even a thing.
Is this AI generated?
It's not even.
Could be. Yeah.
What's
Wait,
up,
did you rely on ChatGPT for your topics today?
What's up, fool?
Because it sounds like that one might have come from ChatGPT.
Yeah, it could have. It very well could have.
Yeah.
I pressed the button. Oh, you got to put me up though.
What's up, fool?
It was you the whole time.
All right. So Carlo and the social team did something really cool at Rams Media Camp yesterday. Media Day yesterday. They talked about your outfits at the Mandy's. They talked about Mason's, they talked about Ireland's, and they talked about Jorge's.
Okay.
I'm going to play all of them. Here is Coach McVay talking about Mason's Mandy's outfit.
Steve, it's great that you have a personality because your wardrobe is garbage, man. I mean, this is questionable. But, you actually pulled off. I give you a 6 just for the courage to wear this. Congratulations, my man.
Thank you. Would you happen to wear that outfit yourself?
0% chance.
See, by the way, that was DeAndre on there.
DeAndre!
He was
Maybe that'll be in the podcast.
He was snitching on you.
I like this.
Who's this about?
Who's this? Wait, whoa.
This one's about John.
About John, okay.
I like this. The jacket is subtle. You got to look close to appreciate the intricacies. The shoes are swaggy, maybe just not for you.
What do you mean?
Not for you. That was it.
Yeah, just not for you, John.
Okay.
All right, and this is about
the shoes
Jorge.
are swaggy, but you're not as swaggy as your shoes
That's probably
are.
true.
Yeah. And this is for
Jorge. This is swaggy. The jacket says I'm the man. I'm not afraid to take some risks. But the shoes show that I got some swag, and I can be able to kind of dress it up or dress it down. Jorge, I commend you on this one right there.
There you go. Sounds like Jorge's the winner.
He's actually a Niners fan.
Yeah, this is trash.
Man, I can't believe DeAndre threw you under the bus again.
First it's me, now it's you, Jorge.
Yeah,
What are we doing? You're my favorite guy that works here now.
Who's next? Wow.
My God.
He's actually a Niners fan.
Yeah, that's trash.
DeAndre.
Yeah. Good job, DeAndre.
He's your friend.
DeAndre's dirt.
He's actually a Niners fan. Oh, that was awesome.
Okay, then this is garbage. He said.
What's up, fool?
What's up, fool? So yesterday, Brandon and I watched this new film called Flaming Hot. It's a story of Ricardo
Directed
Montañez.
by Eva Longoria.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it got me thinking of people that I've seen go through something similar like this. I knew a janitor.
All right, so what's it give similar like what? What's it about?
So he's a son of Mexican immigrants who was a janitor at Frito-Lay, and then he just, like they say in the movie, he just basically jumped over everybody to go to the top.
Okay.
And gave them an idea for the Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
And then they tell you how the whole story unfolded.
Okay, he created the Flaming Hot Cheetos.
So my question is, have you guys ever worked with somebody who you guys saw go from the bottom and make it to the top?
Jorge, are you kidding? Like, this is our thing.
Right. I mean,
whoever
we've had so
works
many
for us
people.
leapfrogs us into, like, massive success.
Okay.
But, we were talking about Ryan Seacrest before. When I was doing weekend sports at KCAL in the mid-'90s, Ryan came in and did movie reviews for us.
Wow.
That was his job.
Yep.
He was a radio DJ, and he would come in and do movie reviews and entertainment reports for us at night. And look at him now.
Yeah.
A. Martinez used to have your job, Jorge. He used to be our board op, and now he's the lead anchor for NPR.
Talented Mr. Roto, Matthew Berry, was just a caller to a show. And now look at him. He's like NBC, Sunday Night Football, all that stuff. Bergman was...
Still am.
You were like...
Dave Singer's now running the NFL Network, and we used to make him put a bikini on and hand out Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of people.
If you want to get ahead in life, get a job on this show.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
All right, I'm next.
Yeah, Jeannie Zelasco did updates for us, and now she's hosting like 7 different pregame shows.
Yeah, no, it's impressive the number of people that we have.
That's our thing, man. If you work for us, you'll zoom past us within. You're going places, Jorge.
Can I just say, on a personal note,
Hello, Greg. Salud.
I fit this description. I came from lower middle class family, trailer park, Toledo, Ohio, and somehow built it. Like I'm the opposite of Morales. Morales is a Nepo baby. That's how he got where I am a self-made man. Ireland, you're a self-made man.
Yeah, well, my dad barely spoke English, so that.
True.
The fact that I always joked with him when he was alive that I said this guy who gave me everything somehow did not give me the Irish brogue, or else I would have been out of business from the word go.
That's right.
Look
at DeAndre. DeAndre went from intern to his own feature on Mason and Ireland. DeAndre's dirt. He's been working like crazy on that.
Yeah, and he threw Jorge under the bus with Sean McVay.
And apparently there's an imminent podcast.
It's dropping tonight, apparently. Yeah, look at them all. They're all saying tonight.
It's really happening.
It's happening. It's fine.
Oh, by the way, if it happens, text me because I want to do a complete review of the podcast tomorrow. Let's review
Cody's
it.
like,
to rip it apart.
Cody's like, any publicity is good publicity. Bring it on.
Tough love, kids. Tough love.
Constructive criticism is what we call it.
Oh, constructive may be
We're
missing.
going to do an air check session with them.
How about just criticism?
Just check it on the air.
Yeah.
Let's just
He's actually a Niners fan.
Yeah, this is trash. All right.
That is the best, DeAndre.
What's up, fool?
All right, so it's odd to go into an NFL season, speaking of the Niners, not knowing who your starting quarterback is going to be. Well, that's what's happening with the Niners. Tight end George Kittle said this about the upcoming season. I think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan did such a great job of creating this roster with depth and all-star players at multiple positions, at important positions, that whatever happens at the quarterback position, we definitely have a chance to win a lot of football games. They are the rare team that this kind of is true about, but do you think this is a sustainable model for other teams to not be worried about the quarterback position?
Yes.
I actually think Brock Purdy is a perfectly serviceable quarterback for the Niners.
Right, we don't know if he's going to even be the quarterback.
Yeah, we don't know what his throwing is going to be. Is he going to be able to go? Oh, look at
he's already throwing.
Oh,
yeah. He says
Rosie, Dr. Jorge says.
Matter of fact, I've got a relevant week coming up.
Yep.
2 Mondays from now. And did I tell you this, Mace?
No.
The guy. Okay, so it was almost like that. Steve Mason was in mind when they took this guy.
Okay.
The last pick in the draft, they throw a big party for it, was Brock Purdy last year.
Yeah.
And we do a combination roast / banquet for this guy.
Right.
Where we just make fun of him for 2 hours, and it all raises money for charity. And Purdy was a really good sport. He's a great guy.
And there have been some cool guys over the years.
So this year, it is a defensive lineman taken by the Rams.
Nice.
So you'll be his Deshaun Johnson. And he went to the University of Toledo.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, so he's the guy we're roasting in 2 weeks.
Nice.
At the Lozman Banquet. You've heard of the Heisman Banquet.
Yes.
This is the Lozman
Banquet,
which is a lot of fun. And my crazy friend Melanie Fitch pulling out all the stops.
That's been going on for
50 years.
50 years.
Yeah, I've only been helping them for the last 20. But they did it. Paul, her dad, started it and did it for 30 years before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was in the 70s.
What's up, fool? What's up, fool?
I pressed the button, not you.
I pressed the button, too. I have a button. I can press the
What's
button.
up, fool?
I can totally press the button myself.
I say more Maite, the better.
Order!
Order!
All right.
You know what? Some listener came up to me at the Mandy's and said, you should bring back order.
We should bring that, but you didn't want. You actually made us stop.
I did not.
You said you didn't want to.
You banned it. You banned it like you banned Michael and you banned Lindsay.
I have the drop.
I didn't ban Lindsay. I kicked her off the show.
That's worse.
I think the guy passed away or something, and you were like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh,
yeah, you banned stuff like that. Like you text me, I don't want to play that anymore.
There are certain things I don't want to play.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we don't have the I want my cake drop anymore because you said I don't want
the cake anymore.
Cake! I want my cake.
Well, I never said drop my cake.
Yeah, you
Yes,
did.
you did.
I love cake.
No, you said I don't want to play that anymore. I think I was like, it was part of the season. I don't want to do that anymore.
Don't hold his own words
it's
against
an old
him.
bit. It's an old. I mean, the thing is, at some point,
Order
the
is not an old bit.
Order is not.
We did this from my first go around with you guys.
What's up, Flu?
All right,
All right, it's my turn. I got another
All right.
question.
Hey!
Good.
Lock in!
Lock
Come on!
in.
I'm
Come
trying
on.
to, Jorge. I'm trying.
Thank
All
you.
right, I found an article ranking the top 9 quarterback wide receiver pairings in the NFL this coming season from NFL.com's Kevin Patra.
Okay.
I can let you guess, or I can just name them and you can
No,
tell
no,
me
let's
which
see how many we
one.
can figure out. All right,
One
so
is Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Not on the list.
What?
that's an outrage.
That is ridiculous.
I mean, come on. All right, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
He's a tight end.
So he doesn't count?
No,
It would
it's
be
quarterback, wide receiver.
Yeah,
All right, so how about Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs?
Not on the list.
Well, then this list is just
what
stupid.
the hell is this list doing?
Yeah.
From
Let me
NFL.com's
try
Kevin
one-
Patra.
Well,
Let me
Kevin
try
Patra
one-
is an idiot.
Let me try one more time. Let's go.
Wait, isn't that 3 strikes? Aren't we
No, it's
out?
2 strikes. Well,
Okay.
no,
Two
I didn't count the
strikes.
Kevin.
Go
the
with
Kelce.
Tua and
Tyreek Hill?
Is that what you want to go with?
Yeah.
Sure.
Not on the list.
Okay.
Oh, this is a stupid list.
So who is
All right,
on the
so,
list?
Let's go backwards first. So,
number 9.
Number 9 is Mac Jones and Juju Smith-Schuster.
All right, all the duos we mentioned are better
Much
than those
better.
two.
Much
But go
better.
ahead.
Number 8 is Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans.
Okay, wait a minute.
What? That's not for real.
100%.
How dumb is this guy?
I don't know.
What's 7?
Wait, never mind. It's the new veteran quarterback wide receiver combos. But
Okay.
Anyway.
What's number 7?
My brother keeps calling me, and I don't know why.
Well,
thank
ignore
you
it.
for-
You're
thank
doing
you
a
for
show.
sharing.
Thank you,
Number
Brian.
7 is Dak Prescott and Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks hasn't even been on the team.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Number 6 is Jimmy Garoppolo and Devontae Adams.
Well, I was
That should be
actually-
number 1.
I was going to guess that one.
And then Brian, go away. And then Justin Fields and DJ Moore.
What?
I like
Derek
Justin
Carr
Fields.
and Chris Olave.
Yeah,
They haven't
these
even.
are.
Yeah, these
Trevor
guys.
Lawrence and Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley was suspended for gambling all of last year.
Lamar Jackson, Odell Beckham
Okay,
Jr.
I was going
I
to
like
say
that one.
I was
That
gonna
one's
say
fine.
one,
And
yeah.
then Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson had a big
Wilson,
year.
Big rookie year, yeah.
Did, but that's number 1?
Well, no.
I'd take
No,
Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp over all those dudes.
How is that described? Did you screw that list up?
I told you right after. It's the new veteran quarterback wide receiver.
Well,
combo.
new
veteran
I forgot about the
quarterback
new.
wide
Yeah, you kind of messed that up.
Really
Yeah,
screwed
You
us
get an
up.
F for that.
Yeah,
Your
that is
first question and that question are both terrible.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fair.
Yeah, no, there's
Do you have any more
I
questions?
don't, but I'm going into your email, John, so I'm going to find something real fast.
Order!
That was fine. All right, so let's
We
do
can
this
play
one.
DeAndre throwing Jorge into the bus again.
No,
that
I don't
never
wanna do
gets
one.
old.
I don't want to do that one. I don't want to do that one.
What's up,
So
Flu?
why did the PGA cut that deal with Live Golf? A new report says the PGA spent so much money on enhanced purses and legal fees to keep the best players from jumping to Live that they ran out of money to compete with the Saudis. In
Okay.
other words, follow the
This
money.
was on your list
Yeah,
of stories.
this is actually somewhat interesting. Nobody can figure out why the PGA caved.
Yeah.
Because they've been saying for 2 years how the Saudis are evil and Liv is evil and we want nothing to do with Liv and we'll never merge with them, and then all of a sudden out of the blue they merged with them. They ran out of money. They were paying $500 million in legal fees, and they spent so much money providing a higher purse to keep some of these PGA guys that they looked at their checkbook and they were like, they're going to put us out of business because we can't compete with them financially.
Right.
So this happens a lot. Like an offshoot of that is Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk thinks the Saudis could own an NFL team one day.
I don't know if they get approved.
Well,
there are so many people that want to buy NFL.
Right.
5 groups every time a team goes for sale.
Right, but so think about this. The last team that got sold, I think, was the Broncos. It was the Commanders.
Commanders, right.
All right, so it went for like $4 billion, right? Florio suggested that if the Saudis come in, they would just offer $10 billion. And so all the owners get a piece of that. So if your best offer from American businessmen is $4 billion,
right,
and the Saudis come in at $10 billion, that's going to be a really hard offer for those 32 NFL owners to turn down.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saudis own part of Formula One.
Yeah.
And so I think this is the new reality we're living in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a despicably evil regime, but money buys a lot. And clearly, and in this case, by the way, I would use, I mean, if I was a PGA player who turned down, I'm trying to
like
think.
Rory McIlroy turned down, they say $300 million.
$300 million.
Yeah.
If I turned that down, because the PGA said no, stay with us, stay with us, stay with us.
We're gonna give you bigger purses.
Right.
We've got the tradition. Yeah.
And then they fold.
Not only fold, merge.
If I was Rory McIlroy or Hideki
Matsuyama, $400 million.
Tiger Woods,
$1
billion. I would sue the PGA. I would sue the Saudis. The PGA said, "Oh, stay with us, please. Be loyal. Stay with us. Stay with us." And people left for gigantic checks, and now it's all merged. That means that Phil Mickelson's got more money than.
Okay, but I don't understand the grounds of your lawsuit. What are you? I'm the PGA.
Right.
I convinced you to stay.
Yeah.
And now I've merged with them. What are you suing me for?
Suing you for false. There's a name for it.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, you know more about some of this legal stuff than I do. But to me, since you had free will, you could have gone to live if you wanted to.
Right, but you asked me not to.
But you don't have to listen to me. I didn't legally. Yeah, I didn't legally hold you to a contract.
No, but
you could have walked away at any point.
There was certainly a verbal agreement between those players and the PGA. Would you disagree with that?
I would.
The PGA promised, "We will take care of you. Don't go to live." That's what they said. Their word. Their verbal
I don't think
promise.
I don't think you can sue me for that.
I would sue their asses off. If I was out $1 billion like Tiger, I would sue their asses off. And by the way, they got their money. They have more than enough money to settle. All right, is that it, Bergman?
That'll do it. I'm yelling at my brother.
Okay,
good to know.
Don't worry
Apparently
about
there's
him.
some crisis.
All right, question, John. Question. Somebody's hitting golf balls into your yard. What should you do? Sports Illustrated has some terrible advice.
I don't think it's Sports Illustrated, but
whoever wrote it.
Yeah, it's advice from a newspaper column.
Okay, that's coming up next for you. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
He's actually a Niners fan.
Yeah, this is trash. All right.
sounds are coming from. Everybody's on my nerves today. Everybody's on my nerves.
Are you going to sit there and just take it?
Let's get to it. Mason in Ireland right now.
All right, so the Denver Nuggets are world champions after last night's win in Denver.
And Nikola Jokic is really looking forward to the parade.
Could not be more excited. And, of course, after the game, you can hear the joy as Lisa Salters talks to him.
You are an NBA champion, Nikola. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now.
That's what winning a championship
and
is all
Mason and
about.
Bergman don't want to let him go home.
Hell
They're
no.
making him stay here for the parade.
Yes.
You will go to that parade, and you will sit there like a puppet. You dance, Nikola Jokic.
You will salute
dance and
the
you
fans
wave to the,
who supported
you wave
you
to the people.
all
Dance,
year
Jokic,
long.
dance.
You owe the fans that.
Doesn't owe him
How do you
squat.
get paid? How do you get paid? Because the fans go to see you.
Correct.
And they sell out
Because
the
Stan
stadiums.
Kroenke's worth $15 billion, and he cuts him a big fat
How
check.
do you make that? From the fans.
Hold on.
What order? We're out of order.
All right, so
System's out
you
of
mentioned this thing in Newsweek. They have a column.
By the way, that line, where's that from? No, you're out of order. It's
The
a
whole
Pacino
system's
movie.
out of order.
It's a Pacino movie, right?
Serpico?
No, I don't think it's Serpico.
The whole. I'm gonna look.
It's anyway. Go ahead. The story.
All right. So Newsweek has a column entitled "What Should I Do?" and you send in problems you're having with people or work or whatever you want, and they give you advice on how you should handle it. So here's one from this week.
Okay.
Dear Newsweek.
Yep.
We have a horrible neighbor that no one likes. He is quick to call the city on others, yet he violates city code weekly. My problem is he hits golf balls from his garden across the street into my yard.
No, that's ridiculous.
I have 2 buckets of balls. After about 5 years ago, I had a broken window. I eventually figured out it was from a golf ball, and who the culprit was, my neighbor. I've put a no trespassing sign in my yard. He comes over sometimes to retrieve balls. I'm tired of having to get off the mower to pick up his golf balls. Heaven forbid I hit one and sail it into my own window. So the question remains, he's a real nuisance. I'm sick of playing games with this idiot, but I know it would only go on deaf ears if I tried to talk to him. He has blatant disregard for the law, plenty of other stories from other neighbors. Any ideas on how to handle or deal with people who will not stop their obnoxious behavior? So they go to a couple of experts, give them a couple of different opinions.
Okay.
The first expert is someone named Marnie Goldman, a certified life coach.
Okay.
Her advice is, forgive him.
Oh.
Forgiving people is not for them. It's always for you.
That's 100% true, by the way. Forgiveness is for yourself, not for
The healthiest thing we can do for ourselves is channel all of that energy into our own inner peace.
Yeah, I agree.
The pause before a reaction can be life-changing. We choose to argue, but we don't have to.
No.
There is a chance for resolution.
Nice.
If ego can be put aside, and you can think with your soul,
Yeah.
the
Soul
entire
thinking.
dynamic can change.
Nice.
There was a mention that talking isn't an option, but if you possibly met with a soft tone and communicated in a deep way,
Hello, neighbor.
understanding one another's feelings, there is a chance.
Hey, neighbor.
Hey, neighbor.
The back and forth games are only turning an ugly situation uglier. Forgiving people is not for them. It's always for you.
Not a beautiful day in that neighborhood.
That isn't even advice. You know what that advice is? Do nothing. Just put up with the golf balls.
Go have a conversation.
He already said the guy's
Have some
not
balls, go
interested.
talk to the guy.
guy's not interested in talking.
Yeah, approach him with a soft voice. Hey, can we talk for a minute?
No.
Something like that.
No, give me my golf balls back.
See, because I'll tell you what, a lot of people don't have the stones to actually confront somebody when they're doing something, right?
Yeah, like you last week with the guy talking on the speakerphone.
I said, do you mind?
You confronted him.
I confronted him. I said, do you
Yeah.
mind?
No.
And he said, no.
No, he said he
yes,
did mind.
I do mind, and then I let it go. I forgave him. I said, all right, I forgive you. I'm channeling my inner peace. My soul is talking.
All right.
And
So you found that advice helpful.
I did. I found it helpful.
I thought that advice was useless.
Yeah,
Jorge, how about you?
Useless.
Yeah, I mean, that is not a solution. So here's this. Greg, did you find that advice helpful?
Completely useless.
I found it helpful.
It was completely
but
useless.
But
I would never go to that life coach. She's an idiot.
Obviously, I'm the spiritual guy around here, so
Right.
I
Now,
get
how about
it.
this?
But you guys are.
Evan Walker is an attorney specializing in personal injury and property damage.
Okay.
He says, I see two options, administration and litigation. First, administration. Review the city or county code. Most have codes or ordinances that prohibit conduct that can be considered a nuisance, and almost all prohibit trespassing. Report the conduct to the proper administration. Cite the applicable code. Document the conduct. Hopefully, code enforcement will intervene and stop the conduct. Code enforcement, however, is unlikely to pay for the damages you suffered. That brings us to litigation.
What damages?
His window was broken by the golf ball.
That's the only damage, is the cost of one window.
And his mower's getting messed up by the golf balls.
Okay.
When he mows his lawn,
All right.
it's getting
Yeah.
it. All right.
All right.
With this set of facts, you could have a nuisance suit or a trespassing suit. Nuisance is broad, and cause of action normally needs to connect to property. Although trespass is a narrower idea than nuisance, it can still be widely applied. Trespass occurs when someone causes something to go onto your property,
Right.
such as a neighbor's leaky pool, tree branches, or baseball. All could be considered a trespass.
Yeah.
Consider option 1. If that fails, go to option 2. Now, that's real advice. Hit him with the city
You're
code.
saying sue him and
Sue
hit the
'em.
city. Yeah, see, I don't think it's worth it.
Why not?
Because litigation is a whole thing you want to try to avoid. If
What are you
possibly
talking about?
can.
You did it, and it was a huge success.
Possibly, but really a really difficult situation. I think there's a middle ground between suing and praying.
Could you have met this middle ground in your dilemma before you sued?
No, but I will tell. Okay, let me tell you a story. I
Okay.
talked to my neighbor Tanya.
Okay. Oh, the one with the smoke alarm?
Yeah, the one with the smoke alarm. They're
Okay.
home now.
All right.
So they have one side of their yard is essentially where we park, and there's garbage and stuff around. Stop it. And it's not cleaned up. It's not trimmed. It's not anything.
So what this neighbor is just trouble.
No, so
It's
I went
bad.
to Tanya.
They had a
I said,
smoke alarm going off for a month.
Tanya, can you do me a favor and have your gardeners when they come just clean up this area outside? You know what Tanya said? Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Did you bring up the smoke alarm?
I didn't bring up the smoke alarm.
Chicken.
Didn't bring up. Because when she don't buck me, don't buck me. Yeah, don't buck.
Chicken.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You can't. Oh.
I think that's my favorite bit that we've ever done.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad you guys.
Twitter
loves
and
it.
he doesn't have the stones to confront her about the smoke alarm.
I do have the stones to confront her about the garden. And by the way, that's the real way to do. Don't leave a note on somebody's door saying, "Hey, could you please?" No, don't do that. Just knock on the door, ring the doorbell. Let's have a conversation. Let's.
Not everyone wants to have a conversation.
Yeah, no, I think the golf ball thing could be resolved.
That guy the other day at the restaurant didn't want to have a conversation. You said, "Do you mind not talking on a speakerphone?" He said, "Yes, I mind."
I mind. But I tried. I did confront him.
Yeah. See, that was a mistake.
To confront him was a mistake?
Yeah, because if he's a nut job, he might come at you.
Yeah, come at. You know what my slogan is? Come at me.
Yeah, but you're not.
I may have a grade 1 hamstring strain.
Yeah,
but
you're just a little nuts. He could be full cup of crazy.
No, I'm friggin' crazy nuts.
Yeah, to me, it's not worth engaging
Seriously,
with whack jobs.
Out of curiosity, who do you think is crazier, me or the guy that was talking on a speakerphone?
That guy. You don't talk on a speakerphone.
Who's crazier? I win the crazy every time.
Well, it's a different kind of crazy. He's going to lose his mind.
Yeah,
crazy.
he's a full cup of crazy. You're half a cup of
He
crazy.
did. At one point, he ended the call within 60 seconds.
You think you had something to do with
I
it?
absolutely do.
I mean, you still listen to it for another 60 seconds.
I still heard I heard the conclusion of the phone call.
What did he talk about?
He was talking about something to do with work and papers and his wife. Work, papers,
My wife's car. These belong to my wife.
By the way, the movie Order, how's that go?
The whole system is out of order.
That's And Justice for All.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the Pacino movie.
Yeah.
So good.
Did you see Al Pacino is expecting?
Yes. He and De Niro.
Yeah, and they're both the girlfriends are young.
Yeah.
More power to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Never go to a high school graduation, I'll tell you that much.
Coming up.
Ain't going to see a wedding. You guys are out of luck.
He too's coming.
Enjoy 5th grade graduation because that's the last one you're going to see.
That's a thing now.
I
as
know.
Bergman will tell you.
Thursday is Riley's 5th grade graduation.
Yes, Thursday is the day.
Do you think Pacino and De Niro will make it to their kid's 5th grade graduation?
On a walker?
On a walker. There you go. What do you take it?
All right, coming up next, I want you guys to think about this scenario.
Yep.
Your house is on fire.
Oh, God.
All right? It's going to take, the fire's going to take out the whole house.
The entire house?
The house is going to burn it to the ground.
Okay.
But you have time to go in and grab one thing.
One thing.
What would you grab? And you might be surprised what Mike Breen's wife grabbed when he had a house fire about 6 months ago.
Okay.
So we'll play Mike Breen talking about that, and then we'll find out what you guys would save if you could only save one thing. And for the purpose of this discussion, assume that all humans and pets are safe.
Are safe, right.
You can't say I would save my dog, or I would save my daughter, or I would save my son.
They're all cool.
All the people, all the pets are safe.
Okay.
Ron is safe.
Sophie's fine.
safe.
Sophie would
Murphy
live out
the
of the
dog
place, but
safe.
Murphy's fine. Lola,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, Riley's safe. Everybody, people and dogs
Mike
are
safe.
People and pets are safe. These are material possessions. You get one. What would you save?
Oh, boy.
All right, we will do that coming up next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
ESPN, the OGs of LA Sports Radio. We're here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwich between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
Mason's claims can be based on no inside information or specific knowledge. In other words, he's talking out of his ass.
All right, so there's a fire in the house, and
well, there's a little backstory here.
You hear the alarm goes
There's
off.
a backstory here.
Okay.
So Mike Breen, the great NBA announcer who called his 100th finals game
how
last
about
night.
that? By the way, that's a state-of-the-art broadcast team, isn't it?
Yeah,
Him and Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, fantastic.
Mike's the greatest. Great on the air, great off the air. So he tragically had a huge house fire last year, and they burned everything down. But his wife was able to grab a few things, including something that Mike treasures. Do you still have smoke alarms going off or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't need that.
It's just for the
for the fire bit. Okay,
Come
for the
on.
fire bit. Go ahead.
All right. So Mike's wife grabbed something that he feels very fortunate she grabbed. Here's the story. He's on a podcast with Dan Lebitard, and he told the story. Dan asked him about the fire and about how devastating it was. And do you have this, Jorge? Okay. And listen to the story that Mike tells. It has something to do with the Lakers and Kobe Bryant.
What else was found or recovered? The other thing that she didn't tell me about right away is I'm not a big memorabilia guy. I've never really asked for autographs. But one year the NBA had this situation where they let players put their nicknames on the back of their jersey. They did it for 1 week. That was a cool idea. So ESPN, when we were doing our games, they gave us jerseys. Jeff Van Gundy had the notorious JVG. Mine was the Gray Mamba because of obviously my hair. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna get Kobe to sign that. And he signed the jersey from one Mamba to another. And it was great. And I got to know him pretty well at the end of his career, and then even after his career more so. I did a couple of speaking engagements with him. So that one really meant something to me. And that's one of the first things I thought of when would we lose? And my wife found that, and that's being restored as we speak.
Nice.
Okay, so he saved that. I have a couple of things signed by Kobe. One is when his book came out, he asked me to do a Q&A with him.
Right.
And so I did the Q&A, and he signed one of his books for me and handed it to me, and it had a really nice inscription in it.
Right.
And so that's in my house. I also have a mini basketball, like with the ones that you we'd use for Papa Shot.
Yeah.
That's signed by Kobe and Shaq the last year they won a title together.
Oh, wow.
So those are two really cool items I have. But
would they be the things you'd rush in and get?
No. I think what I would do, and I assume this is okay for the purposes of this question, I have a table in my house with a bunch of pictures on it.
Mm-hmm.
And in many of the pictures are my parents. My dad's no longer alive. With Jack, my son, when he was little.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what I would grab.
Yeah.
But I probably should get those pictures. There's a thing now called, I think they call it Legacy Box.
Legacy Box. Yeah, I'm doing one right now. It takes a number of weeks
where
to
they
get it back.
basically digitize all your videos, photos. So if something like this happens, if you have a fire or a burglary or something like that, you would have a digital record of all your photos.
Right.
I probably should do that, and then I might have a different answer. But right now, that's what I would grab. I would grab the pictures I still have of my dad with my son because I wouldn't have any otherwise.
Bergman, how about you?
So everything, I'll grab as much of the good stuff that Riley has made over the years.
Oh, her art.
Her arts, and she made me a cup that has like hearts on it and stuff that she made me for Father's Day one year.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Jorge, how about you?
I have a hard drive, like you say, with a bunch of pictures. I back up my phone regularly, and I store stuff that, in case I lose my phone, I know I can always back it up and have it there. But there I have a bunch of projects. I have a bunch of elements.
So you would grab the hard drive?
Just the hard drive because it has a bunch of stuff that I can still work out of.
That's probably the most practical answer. Like, if you put a gun to my head and you said, all right, you got to pick right now.
Yep.
The pictures sentimentally is what I want.
Yeah.
I would probably grab my computer.
Oh, your computer is included in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in your house, right? Because even though most of the stuff on my computer is in the cloud, I don't know what isn't.
Right.
So if this thing got melted in a fire, I would probably be at a pretty severe disadvantage.
Yeah. I think I would salvage my lucky pipe. Every time I smoke from this pipe, something good happens. So it's my lucky pipe. That would probably be the main thing.
Why didn't you do it before the Denver series?
Or the Mandy's.
The Mandy's. I don't understand why you didn't do it on Saturday.
Yeah, that pipe is being underused, I would argue.
The truth, no, it's not. The truth is, the truth is, when on my 50th birthday, Juan went through every family picture that we had going all the way back to when my mom was a little girl. So if you open this book, he made a book. You open this book, it starts out with
that would be the sentimental answer, what you would grab.
My mom is a baby, my dad is a baby, growing up, me as our brothers.
Yeah, that's really
all the way
thoughtful.
through.
That's a great idea.
It was a great gift, and every time I flip through it, it makes me cry, sentimentally.
Yeah.
I'm a very sentimental person, so that would be my first choice, and my lucky pipe.
Well, wouldn't a pipe survive a fire?
That's the whole point of the pipe.
Exactly. You can just walk back in.
Wait a minute. Would the pipe survive the fire?
Maybe not. If it was like
it's a glass pipe.
So if it
How
was a
often
raging,
do you light
no,
the
if
glass pipe?
it was a raging fire, though, it would melt it, wouldn't it?
I think a raging fire would
it
melt
might.
it. Yeah,
Sure.
You're right. It does have
Some fire resistance.
You literally light the pipe,
Exactly.
so maybe the pipe would survive. But that, I find that a hassle because then you got to get a grinder. You haven't been through any of this. You got to get a grinder, and then you put it in the pipe. It's such a pain in the ass.
Do you use the keef?
Yeah.
The way you guys speak like that. Use a key.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what the grinder
these conversations we have kind of in the abstract, in 5 years will be completely normal.
Well, I mean, seriously.
Like 5 years ago, we couldn't even talk like we talk now.
We did Family Feud Saturday night at the Mandy Awards, and the question was, where would you most likely find an ESPN LA employee? And I buzzed in and said a dispensary. I said it kind of half joking, but it was number 2 on the board.
Right.
It was number 2 on the board.
Yeah, I thought when I heard you say that, I thought you were going for a laugh.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be up there.
Oh, I didn't think
and
it'd
it
be
was
up there
number
either.
2.
It was number 2.
Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to get to this one thing. Everybody last year watched Winning Time. Fantastic series. Starred John C. Reilly.
By the way, I think John C. Reilly's going to win an Emmy for playing Dr. Bus.
He should. He was great. He was great. So Winning Time, the sequel, is coming out.
Okay, this little inside radio. But Jorge, did you bleep out the bad words?
Yeah.
Okay. So the trailer for Winning Time Season 2 has come out.
Yep.
It's clear. We think you'll be able to follow this on the radio. It's obviously a video trailer, but it's clear where they're focusing. Winning Time Season 1 ended at the end of Magic's rookie season when they won the title in Philadelphia, where Magic played center, and he had the 42 points and the 15 rebounds. They're going to pick it up now and move to the middle of the decade. So they're going to jump from 1980 to 1984 when it becomes Lakers-Celtics. At the heat of the rivalry, here is the Winning Time trailer. It runs about 2 minutes.
My friends, the future of sports is purple and gold.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Magic and the Lakers are back to defend their title.
What a time to be alive. Small town.
You can't have the money, the power, and the love, Urban.
How about this for a headline? The greatest who ever lived is Celtic.
Ain't nobody scared. Larry Bird. Sit down there, relax. Put on a show just for you.
They've won their rings. We've won ours. None of it meant because it wasn't against them. This is survival of the fittest.
It's not about basketball. It's about winning.
Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
That is what I'm talking about.
All right.
When does that come? Do you know when that comes out?
Yeah, August 6th is what
August
it was what it says at the end of that. And so a couple of references.
1984
NBA
Finals?
Well, so here's what they're talking about. When you heard, that's Michael Chiklis, the guy from The Shield who plays Red Auerbach. And he said, they've won our rings, we've won ours. None of it matters because it wasn't against them. That's Dr. Buss who says that at the end. To kind of paint a picture for you guys. So the Lakers won the title Magic's rookie year in 1980.
Right.
Celtics won in 81. Lakers won in 82. Lakers lost to the Sixers in 83. The Sixers snuck in there for one of them. So it was either Lakers or Celtics in the final. Starting in 1980, Lakers or Celtics in the final every year for a decade.
Yep.
But in 84, they started to meet and play each other. So in 84, which to me, as a Laker fan, is the most painful playoff series loss of my lifetime. I tell this story all the time. The Lakers routed them 3 times, and we lost 4 times by an average of 6 points. But they won the title in 84.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
And then in 85, Lakers Celtics again. So looking back at that decade, it was all about Boston versus L.A. So it was Lakers Sixers in 1980. And then in 81, the Celtics won it. In 82, the Lakers won it. In 83, Sixers. Then 84 Celtics, 85 Lakers, 86 Celtics, 87 Lakers, 88 Lakers. 89 is when the Pistons come in. But in that stretch from 1980 through 1988, everything ran through Boston and L.A. And that's where they're picking this up. So all that stuff you saw in season 1 with Chiklis playing Auerbach and giving Dr. Buss and his sons the really bad seats in the Boston Garden and all that stuff is all going to get magnified. And it looks great.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. And
this is Adam McKay and that whole gang, all the people back for another run at this thing.
Now, I would imagine somebody will be playing James Worthy in this. Do we know who it is?
I don't. And he doesn't.
He doesn't know?
No. He was, and a lot of these, like Norm Nixon's son played Norm Nixon. Norm's going to get traded in season 2.
Right.
So, and then when they traded him for Byron Scott, traded him to the Clippers.
Hey, do you think if James Worthy, if the guy who's playing James Worthy asked him, like, hey, can I just talk to you for a little bit about your experience, would he do it?
Yep.
So he would have been totally fine with it because a lot of these old Lakers, they don't really like it.
No, I think, we could ask him next time we get him on, but Worthy's like the best guy ever. Yeah, he would totally do it. And by the way, Worthy has great stories about that era.
Right.
Just unbelievable stories about that era. About, stuff that went down behind the scenes and Worthy made a horrible pass in the Lakers won game 1 of that series in the finals. And in game 2, James tried to throw a cross-court pass, got intercepted, and they lost. And then it was off and running. But I can't wait for season 2 a winning time. I think it's going to be great.
Ah, fantastic.
And remember, in season 1, they were competing with the Hulu doc from Antoine Fuqua that Jeannie and Linda produced. Magic's documentary. Now they're going to have the stage to themselves. Yeah. So I think it's going to be I think it's going to be the next show we all watch when it comes out. And
who, except for Jerry West, he will not be watching.
Well, they didn't do him any favors, and my guy Chick Hearn is not portrayed, in the greatest light ever. But the series overall, I think, is really fun. I think it's really fun.
By the way,
to watch.
I think
it's kind of a love letter to that era.
I do too. I think your version of your life is less interesting than somebody else's version of your life.
Yeah, and as long as they represent it as a time that was, Showtime was a really fun, exciting time in L.A. with a lot of glitz and glamour, and I think they nailed that aspect of it.
Yes.
They didn't do Jerry West any favors. They didn't do Chick any favors. But
although the guy that plays Chick is really good, Spencer Garrett.
Yeah. There's a little too much negative in there, but I probably wouldn't have been happy unless they made Chick out to be God.
Right.
Because Chick to me is God.
Yeah.
But the overall the kid who plays Magic is spectacular. The kid who plays Kareem is great.
Yep.
John C. Reilly's great. I know Adrian Brody got a little bit of criticism, but I liked the way he played.
I thought he was great.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. Well, that's coming up in August. That's going to be that will be a show that we all watch. All right, coming up next for you, John. Twitter is how we all mix it up and communicate.
Yep.
But are Twitter's days numbered? I will explain next. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
You never have to
Sup, people? Game of Games is coming up. And by the way, Jacob Marani's coming in today, right? Oh, he's going to love this because I name is your buzzard name today. He hates that.
Yeah, no, maybe he'll rise up.
What do you think? Will he rise up, Bergman?
He's going to win.
Excellent.
No.
I love that.
Please, I'm going
Hashtag blessed.
Most times me, John.
So, John, we all use Twitter, right?
Yep.
Some of us use it more than others. You don't output a lot of tweets.
No, I do not.
I sent out some pictures.
It's because Twitter is a cesspool where there's filled with a-holes who are all jerks.
Okay, so I sent out some pictures from the Mandy's. I regularly promote the podcast. Otherwise, I don't have a lot of opinions on. I find they stick when they're written down. So there is a brand new Twitter competitor coming, and it is from Facebook/Instagram/Meta.
Okay.
So this is, think about this. Instagram is the single, aside from YouTube, the single most used social media platform in America.
More than Twitter.
More than Twitter.
Okay.
Facebook is the second most used social media app in the country. So, in other words, Instagram and Facebook are starting what is essentially a clone of Twitter. I sent you guys some pictures of this.
You're almost being too kind. It looks like Twitter.
It does. It looks completely like Twitter. Now the question is, apparently people like Oprah and a lot of celebrities have already committed to do this instead of Twitter.
Well, I'll try it simply because Twitter has turned into just such a negative place. And if you want to let your headspace, like I've been using the mute feature a lot, which I love because it basically eliminates anybody who doesn't you don't want to hear from.
Right.
And they don't know.
They have no idea. They think you're still getting their tweets, right?
Right. And I don't think there's a way that they can find out they've been muted.
No, they don't know if you're muted.
So if anybody just comes at me with, some ridiculously mean or personal assault, I just mute them.
Yeah, I like it and send back F you. That's what I like to do.
But why do we think Instagram's version is going to be any different?
Well, because
that was my next question.
More
by the way.
moderate. Remember
moderators.
The one thing
when Elon Musk bought Twitter, he went away from moderators.
Yeah, he went from 5,000 moderators to 1,000 moderators. What Instagram is going to do is they're going to focus on creators and put a lot of people out there that say, yeah, this is cool, this is not cool, this is hate speech, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be moderated in a different way. They say it's going to be a sane place to share your thoughts and opinions.
And I will sample it for that reason, because I think a lot of Twitter has become insane. Now, not all of it, but a lot of it has become just... like I've always said to you, you only have so much headspace.
Correct.
And you don't want this venom entering your headspace if you can help it.
Yeah.
And Twitter has turned very venomous.
The people I worry about is, I mean, seriously, kids are so mean. And then you get kids on social media. They must be super mean, right?
Say that again?
Kids on social media must be super mean.
Yeah, I would think.
I mean, I would think that's awful. Is Riley on social media yet?
She's on a few things, but I don't like the stuff that she's on. I take
What's
her off
she
a lot
on?
of stuff. She was on Discord. I had to take her off of Discord.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell that is.
What is that?
It's just basically a chat room.
Does she have her own phone yet?
Yes, of course.
She does.
Oh, wait, of course. Like how long has she had
She's had it a year or two now.
What's her Twitter handle?
No way, ever. She doesn't have an
Jorge,
Instagram
does Maite have her own phone yet?
No, she's too young.
What's her Twitter handle?
How old is she now?
Four.
She's 4. Now, what age do you think you and Brenda will let her do it?
We're still not sure. We haven't gotten
Greg,
to that
what
part
did you
yet.
do it for Riley? About 10?
10.
I did it for Jack at 12.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do, though, Bergman. You don't want her on Twitter, but I would go into Twitter right now, and I'd reserve at Riley Bergman so she has it for future. And same thing with Maite Briones. Lock that up so that she can have her name as her Twitter handle when she actually wants to go do it.
Now, you shouldn't have said that out loud. You should have said it off
right.
the air
No,
because
no,
now two idiots just went and did that.
Yeah,
what you
no,
just
that's
did.
true.
I don't
No,
have
go
time to
get
do
it.
right
Go
now.
get it.
Someone
Go
else
get
is
it
gonna
now.
go
Sign
do
up
it.
now.
You just ruined everything.
Then I'll forget the password.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, by the way, Mace, going back to the one thing you would save.
Yeah.
Do you have memorized your Bitcoin password?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got it.
We're covered.
Yeah, you got to memorize.
Yeah,
so
we're covered.
if a fire hit your house, you wouldn't lose it.
They still have safe deposit boxes.
Which give me the short explanation of what that is.
In a bank, you've got those boxes where you can lock things up and
Right.
only you have access to them.
Right, but you need your password, right?
No, you need a key.
A physical key?
A physical key.
Okay.
So that's where I keep the Bitcoin password.
In a physical box.
Physical box
At
a bank.
Oh, at a bank. Not
at Wells Fargo,
okay.
right.
Well, what happens if that Wells Fargo...
Account number 6...
Okay, but Mace, what happens if that Wells Fargo burns down?
If the Wells Fargo burns down, well, then I might have issue. I mean, I got it stored on my... not on my phone, I don't have it stored. No, so the only way I lose is if Wells Fargo burns down.
Well, you should just...
When was the last Wells Fargo to burn down?
Well, I mean, a lot of banks have crumbled.
In the Old West?
But
in the Old West, yeah.
Here's what I would suggest.
Yes.
Have a backup to that plan. In other words,
another plan.
Take out a safe deposit box at a different place, or give it to your mom, or give
right.
it.
What about a Swiss bank account? I always wanted a Swiss bank account.
Or what do they always say? Offshore, where like
Cayman
Bahamas,
Islands. Cayman Islands.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's another good one. Another good one. All right, coming up next for you is Game of Games. It is Jacob and Ronnie playing today, and bad news for Jacob. His name is your buzzer. He hates that. That's coming up next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, let me tell you about ZipRecruiter. Did you know it can now take up to 11 weeks on average to hire for an open position? That's almost 2.5 months. You don't have that kind of time. If you're listening today, I got some advice. Stop waiting. Start using ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find qualified candidates for all your roles fast. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. As my buddy Ian Siegel, the inventor of ZipRecruiter, says, they don't leave anything to chance. They use their powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people for your roles. Plus, here's how quickly ZipRecruiter can help you hire. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So speed up your hiring process with ZipRecruiter. See why 3.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. Just go to that web address for free. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, here we go. It is Game of Games time, and Jacob and Ronnie's here. Jacob, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. I tailored this game specifically for you.
Except
Steve.
Its name is your buzzer.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
All right, but there's only 4 players, Jacob, so you get a good chance. It's Jorge, Greg, me, and Jacob. What is the theme of today's game?
The theme is Jeopardy. I will give you the category.
So do we have to answer in the form of a question?
Answer in the form of a question. I'll give you a category, then I'll give you a question.
Okay.
And it's your name is your buzzer to get in.
Okay.
Okay. So, Jorge, you ready? You look
Yeah,
like
see.
you're yawning right now.
No, because I'm, yeah.
Okay. Bergman, you ready? We cut
I'm always ready.
Jorge mid-yawn. All right. Here we go. Category is phone numbers.
Okay.
This is the number you call when you get into a car
Ireland.
accident. Ireland.
911.
No.
Greg. 877 call Jacob.
No. Jorge.
What is 877 call Jacob?
No.
Jacob.
Yes.
What is 911?
No. It's 844-24-JACOB.
I called the wrong number.
How did we all miss that?
Yeah.
How did I miss it?
That one was for you.
Actually, I got to tell you, it worked out because 4 people tried to say the same thing, and that did the job.
Yeah, we know the number now.
844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
All right. Nobody gets the point. Category is literature. This book begins with the words, in the beginning.
Greg.
What
is the Bible?
What is the Bible? Is
Okay, very
absolutely
good.
correct. Good job, man. All right, number 2.
Jacob's like, what are we doing?
Jacob's just like, I didn't. I just say your name as soon as you think you know
As soon as
anything.
you think you know. This category is currency.
Okay.
This currency is operated using blockchain. Greg.
What is cryptocurrency?
It's not the answer I'm looking for.
Oh,
let me
come
repeat
on.
the question. This currency is operated using blockchain and is the predominant
Ireland.
cryptocurrency. Ireland.
What is Bitcoin?
I mean, come on.
No. Did you
Oh,
listen?
-1. -1.
I didn't say those. That was Jorge.
No, I didn't.
It was you. Who was
Why
it?
you being a chiva towards me now?
No, you're trying to get
Okay, you both lose a point.
No, I did
Both
not
they
complain.
both lose a point?
Yeah, you
All
both
right.
lose a point.
Oh, hell
Greg's
no.
at 0. Jorge's -1.
By the
The
way,
social
This is what he does.
the social team both pointed at Greg for complaining. And by the way, he should have -9 to start because he screwed up reading the internet with you guys earlier.
No, you only
now.
have 0. You only have 0, and Jorge, you're at -1.
And by the way, the question was totally for Bitcoin. It was this currency is operated using blockchain and is the predominant cryptocurrency.
Just keep going because he'll complain again.
No, I'm not complaining. It says
Okay.
cryptocurrency in it. I said cryptocurrency.
Number
so that's
3, the category is people named Joe. He is known for his fur coat and his guarantee. Ireland.
Hey, can you guys
Who is Joe Namath?
Joe Namath is the right answer, known for his fur coat and his guarantee. Did you have that one?
I have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When I come to this game and it's you got a name is your buzzer,
Yeah.
I get this brain block. I literally my hands are stuck. Everything is stuck.
All right.
Buzz in early.
Let's
Buzz in
do
early.
no. Let's do a thing here. Let's throw. I don't know what the question is.
Yep.
Let's throw this question to Jacob. All right, let's give him first crack
And let's
at
make
it.
sure that he's gonna miss it.
And no. And then after you guess, we can all jump in. Okay, here we go.
Thank you, guys.
Category is sports terms. If you score 3 goals in soccer or hockey, this is what they call it.
What is a hat trick?
There you go.
There you go. Now you're on the board.
Thank you.
By the way, you didn't even buzz in with your name.
Yeah.
We're trying to get you trained.
I'm telling you.
All right, you have one now. Here we go.
What is the score?
It is Ireland 2, Jacob 1, Greg 0, Jorge -1.
Okay, right. Greg's at 0. All right, here we go. Number 5. Category is countries. Located between Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria. John.
What is Serbia?
That is correct.
Good job.
Yes. This country boasts Nikola Jokic as its favorite son. All right, so it's Ireland
3, Jacob 1, Greg 0. What are you having? 7 conversations in there.
I know. It's very frustrating.
This category is animation. It's the longest-running American sitcom in history. Greg.
What is The Simpsons?
What is The Simpsons?
All right, Greg's
Simpsons
got 1.
is correct, yes.
Don't talk loud. Greg wants to play.
Okay, yeah. Greg's trying
That's
to-
what we're doing.
trying
It's
to play
our
the game,
show.
Lar.
Don't hover. Don't hover. Stay there.
Stay
there.
Number 7. Category is famous Robinsons.
Okay.
Born in Key West, Florida. He is an MVP winner in his sport.
Ireland. Who is David Robinson?
David Robinson, yeah. Born in Key West. I never would have gotten that. Did you know he was born in Key West?
No, when you said MVP
Flag.
is when I tried it.
Good
I
job.
thought I had it.
Number 8. Oh, boy, Jacob.
I'm just enjoying this. I'm just watching.
Do we need to throw Jacob another one?
No, this
All
one,
right.
he's got no chance.
Okay. Buzz in early, Jacob.
Buzz in early.
Start complaining, Jacob.
Category
it's more
is
fun.
people who work at 710.
Oh, okay.
This MC.
Ireland. Who is Mario Ruiz?
No, I'm
He's not an
sorry.
MC?
That is not correct. This MC salesperson was dominant in the ES. Jorge.
Who is Ron Mitchell?
Who is Ron Mitchell?
Oh,
Exactly right.
what is the MC thing?
Market consultant.
Market consultants.
Oh,
That's
okay, I
what
didn't
we
know.
call
Marketing,
our,
marketing.
All right,
sales
Jorge, that
consultants.
brings you up to 0.
It's not a rapper.
No, I thought it was like Mario.
Jacob, you are on the board here.
Yeah, Jacob, you are in second place.
And I feel good. I feel good about
How many
that.
are left?
1.
Oh, I've got it locked
got
up,
it
but go
locked
ahead.
up. Category is music.
Complaining is more fun.
This Miami native is known as
Ireland.
Ireland.
Who is Pitbull?
Who is Pitbull is right. Yeah, when Ireland is getting the Pitbull questions right, you know
Dude.
they're screwed.
Well, you guys have this connection when it comes to these name at your buzzer things.
Complain -0 again.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Game's over. You won.
All right, tiebreaker. What is the population of Serbia? The population of Serbia.
7.
Ireland, start with you. Bergman says 7.
Greg says 7.
Very small nation.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Ireland?
I'm going to say
Oh, boy.
3.7 million.
3.7. Jacob.
2.1 million.
2.1. And Jorge.
6.8 million.
Did you Google? The answer.
My computer's right there.
The answer.
dude.
6.8 million.
Good
Oh, you got it right on.
Swag. Wow.
Swag, baby.
Yeah, that was impressive.
So Ireland with the win. Jacob, we got a question for you.
Do I have to buzz in with my first name?
No, this is this is one that lands in your area of
it does.
expertise.
All right.
So, got the golf ball guy.
All right, so Jacob, there's this column in Newsweek where the name of the column is "What Should I Do?" And this guy had a neighbor that keeps hitting golf balls into his yard, and he's asked him not to do it, and the guy won't stop. He keeps hitting golf balls into his yard. It's screwing up his lawnmower. It broke a window, and the guy's like,
"Hey, neighbor."
Yeah, he's like,
"Bad neighbor."
Yeah, and he won't stop. Does this guy have a legal recourse? If he contacted someone like you, would you take that case?
I would.
Yeah.
And what is it trespassing that the guy hitting the golf balls is doing?
Absolutely. And it just depends. I mean, whether I would take it would be all about the damages.
Right.
Not necessarily whether, his rights are
So
violated.
far, the only damages would be one broken window and his lawnmower got messed up.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at that and you see what you have to put into it, it becomes very difficult, right? If I was about to do a pro bono to help the guy,
Right.
Absolutely.
But don't you think if he's ruined his lawnmower, if there's reckless endangerment, the guy's hitting golf balls into his yard, don't you think that adds up to about $1 million? I'm no expert, but it seems like $1 million to me.
Listen, I had somebody who called us. Their neighbor has this, 20, 30-foot tree.
Oh,
okay?
yeah,
And this tree, they refuse to cut the tree. And the branches keep falling into the house.
Yeah.
And a couple of times it's broken some windows.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know or not, but it's a very heavily litigated part of.
Is it really?
Yeah, trees and whether your neighbor can have branches coming into your
This
property.
just happened to me. I have a police officer that lives behind me in a house. And so 6 months ago, police car pulls up to the front of my house. And this guy gets out. He goes, "Hi." And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, what happened? Did something happen to Jack? Did something happen to Lisa? I go, "Hi." He goes, "I live right behind you, and your tree has fallen into my yard." Oh. And I went, number one, I am so sorry. And number two, it'll be gone by tomorrow. And I had to pay a pretty good amount of money to get that thing hauled out of there. So this is a real thing, right?
And what's interesting is the fact that what people don't know is that apparently, and I'm researching this, is that if your neighbor's tree has branches that are in your property, you have the right in order to cut it.
Cut their tree.
To cut those branches.
Yeah.
But what you don't know is that if you cut those branches the wrong way and that tree dies, they can hold you responsible for having to pay for the tree.
So they should call somebody like you because you already have researched this, and most people don't know.
And most people are so afraid of it. And I'm telling you, there's been litigation that's gone on for years and thousands of dollars spent on attorneys that do that type of work. So it may seem like the dumbest thing, but so many people, I guarantee you, that are listening have gone through it, and they have not been able to reach anything.
Mace, get this sound that we played right at the beginning of the show. So, Jacob, here's an ethical dilemma. This isn't a legal dilemma, but you're a big sports fan, so I want to ask you this. So, Nikola Jokic was the best player in the playoffs. Was unbelievable. He won the NBA Finals MVP. He lives in Serbia and really, really wants to go home. He wasn't very celebratory last night.
He misses his horses.
Yeah. So this exchange happened with a reporter you have it, Mace?
Yep.
Last night.
You said after the Lakers win, you said you were surprised that you didn't feel more. So I'm curious what you are feeling right now and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Okay.
He's got his head in his hands. Yeah, okay, so now break a tie here. I won't tell you who's voting which way, but two of the four of us, would make Nikola Jokic go to the parade. He's the star of the team. The parade's not a parade without him. The other two of us think he did everything right, helped you win the title, let the guy go home. If it was left up to you, would you force Nikola Jokic to participate in the parade?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, I think you're wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He did everything he possibly could do to get you that title. If he really wants to go home, I'd put him on a private jet and I'd pay for it.
So let me tell you why I say this. There are so many, if I'm a Denver fan, there's so many fans that did not get a chance to go to the game. They did not get a chance to enjoy it inside the stadium. For them, being able to be in the streets, watching the parade, seeing their MVP, and seeing these guys that they pretty much idolize for bringing them the first championship,
right,
is the first opportunity for them to celebrate. And I would think spending a couple of hours and going through a parade and going home to see the horses a day later, in comparison to what he's giving to the, to the city based on what he's achieved.
Right, but you can tell there he clearly doesn't want to sit around till Thursday.
Yeah, I know, but he has a responsibility to the fan. And Jacob was right. The reality is that for most people, this is the only chance they'll ever get to see Nikola Jokic in person. Most people cannot afford to be in an arena for a game.
But that's
Could you
not.
imagine if Kobe sat out a parade or Shaq?
But Kobe's
sat
not
out a
from
parade?
Serbia.
Right, but no, the reality, it's the same thing, though. If the MVP sits out a parade, is it really a parade?
Good question. I would not. Jorge and I would not force him to go. Mason and Bergman would.
I would tell you, if God forbid something had happened, family emergency, somebody was sick, right, and he had to go, I think that trumps.
Yeah, that's different.
this.
That's different.
But
We're not putting that into the equation.
But I'm just saying it's truly like, if I'm a fan, I want to see Jokic in person going by me so I can wave at him and cheer for him. So I would think, hey, take care of the fans. You've done so much. This last piece should not be in either.
All right, last thing for you. I got one name as your buzzer thing for you.
Can I compete against him? Okay.
Can you turn off his?
No, I'm gonna give you first crack though. So get ready with your name.
All right. The category is advertising slogans. This is the jingle for Jacob and Ron. Jacob.
Accident or injury, call Jacob. Emrani, call Jacob.
There you go.
Boom!
That's what we're doing. On the board.
You're a very good sport, Jacob, even though I disagree with you about the Jokic thing.
Awesome seeing you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Jacob.
Coming up next for you is Super Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
There you go. Everybody's in the house today. What's going on, Shadano?
I'm with John. If you're going to fire me, just call me or do it over Zoom. Don't make me get in the car.
That received a very strong social media reaction.
Did it really?
Yeah, from a lot of people. They're like, if you're going to fire me, don't make me come in there and do it.
I want to do it. I want to do it
Zoom is at least
face-to-face.
acceptable if you want to do face-to-face.
Well, the reason you want to do a face-to-face is so you can feel good about you.
No,
but if I'm the one being fired, I don't care about you anymore.
There's some resolution to the relationship. That's what it is.
The resolution is you're firing me.
The resolution is we're going different directions for this reason. I want you to know why and how and all that stuff. I think it's only fair. Like if I was going to fire George Sedano, I'd say, George, I need to see you in the office after the show.
That's ominous already, so just tell me.
And George wants to say, well, I'd rather stay home with my kids. Just tell me what's going on.
Cap,
can you do it? Can you do it before the show, not after the show?
Yeah. Cap, how do you feel? Do you feel like if you're firing someone, you have to do it in person?
I used to think that, but now everything in the world is different. Here's an example, real life example.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, I've talked about this. I've had my own little personal trial of the century that I've been dealing with.
Yep.
On Thursday, judge is going to rule. My lawyers said to me, we're going to be on Zoom in our office. I said, well, should I be there? And they said, well, you can go if you want to, but you don't have to. I go, no, I don't want to go. I'd rather be here on Zoom.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the courthouse.
Now,
I don't
Mace,
want to
you had one of these a few years ago, and I'm guessing it was important for you to be there in person.
Did not go.
You didn't go. You just
Nope.
waited till you got the. See,
Yep.
now why? It was obviously a very important thing in your life.
Too nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Okay. So Cap and Sedano, Cap, I'll go to you first. Where are you on this Jokic thing? Jokic. Here, we'll play it again. We just played it for Jacob. This was Jokic clearly.
the parade thing.
He wants to go home.
yeah.
He wants to go back to Serbia. So here's this happened last night, Cappy.
You said after the Lakers win, you said you were surprised that you didn't feel more. So I'm curious what you are feeling right now, and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade?
When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Okay.
All right, so Cap, this guy just wants to go home. Would you, if you were Stan Kroenke or the GM of the Nuggets, would you insist that Jokic participate in the parade, or would you let him go home?
First of all, I'd love to know, like, what is so important that you got to get home?
I mean, he lives in another country.
Yeah, he's not from here.
I understand. But if you're asking me, if I'm in the position of being the boss and the owner of the team,
yeah.
Hey, listen, sorry, pal. You know, you're free to go on Thursday when the parade is over. But between now and then, unfortunately, man, I know you got things you want to do, and I know it's been a long season, and I really appreciate the championship you've delivered here. But being part of the parade is a big deal.
Right answer. Now, here's the wrong answer. Go ahead.
I thought the same thing of you today. I walked in and I was like, "Where's Cappy today?"
Yeah.
Where's our parade? I thought we were doing a parade today for the show of the year.
Were you going to do a parade?
Yeah, apparently not because Cappy's not here now.
Cappy,
Nobody told me about the parade.
George, you wouldn't make him do it, would you?
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, if the fans care.
He's already got the championship.
It's the fans.
No, the fans care about the title.
This is the only time. No. The fans have waited 40 whatever
The
years.
fans
Not
are
Jokic's
for
problem.
A parade.
Let me tell you something. The fans are going to line up on the street, okay, in downtown Denver, and they're going to see these trucks or whatever and
this
buses.
is going to be the only time they see Nikola Jokic in person this year.
They're going to see him go by, or the trucks and vans and all that go by. They're not even going to know more times than not if Jokic was even
By the
on
way,
that
if
thing.
Jokic isn't there, why should a fan go to the parade? There's
What
really
difference
no,
does it make if a fan
he's
goes
the
to the
MVP.
parade?
Why? I mean, it should be a very thin.
Last title the Lakers won, we didn't even do a parade.
Well, no, but we filled up the Coliseum.
No. When they won in 2020 because of the pandemic, we didn't
couldn't
even
do
do
Oh,
it.
that was 2009, right? They filled up the Coliseum.
10. Yeah. 9, they
Celtics
did a
won.
regular parade. 10, they went to the Coliseum.
Yeah.
10.
I
they
mean,
went
I
to
don't
the
really
Coliseum.
think is it that big of a deal, like, for both parties? Like, from Jokic's perspective.
Well, why
it's
didn't
like,
they do the parade sooner is my question.
Well, yeah, today's
Because
Wednesday, right?
Well,
they
they've
have to
gotta-
plan it in
today's
advance,
Tuesday.
and they thought
They've
that there would
gotta
be a
work
chance there was a Game
Work
6.
with the city, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's only 2 days later, really.
Yeah,
I mean 3 days.
he will be there.
I mean, he
I
will
agree.
be there,
Wait,
but
can
I
I
don't
ask
care.
you guys this though? Is it kind of part of Jokic's act and part of
It's
his
not an act.
charm? Part
No,
of his charm, you think?
It's not an act.
No, because like after the game, there was that one scene where Michael Malone is kind of talking to him, and people are shooting video, and Malone's kind of saying to him, "Bro, enjoy this, man. Like, don't just like blow it off and make it like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Like, go out and enjoy this thing." Did you see that video?
Let me explain something to you, okay? As someone who's chatted with him numerous times now over the years, and recently I thought he had one of the funniest lines to me, and the guy who's their beat writer, Mike Singer, who's been there for a long time at the Denver Post, he pulled me aside at the Lakers series and told me he thought it was hilarious, and you rarely get this stuff from him, was when they beat Phoenix, and I did the game where they crushed Phoenix in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him, what are you going to do with all this time off waiting for your next opponent? He's like, just watch my horses online and go in the pool with the kids, and that's it. Just chill out.
He's not a guy that basks in stardom.
No. He actually hides from it.
He's a very understated. Yeah.
Right, but
below the
you're
radar.
okay forcing him to bask in stardom.
I mean, I don't think he has any intention of not being at that parade.
You
think he actually would sit
if
out
you
a parade?
if you left it up to him? Did you hear his answer?
I would leave it up
his
to him.
hands were in his face was in his hands.
I
He
would
was like,
leave it up to
"No,
him
I
and
want to
assume
go
he's gonna
home."
do the right thing.
Yeah, I think that he will be there.
Yeah, he will.
They're going to make him do it.
Right. They're just going to say, hey, we need this one more obligation from you. But I wouldn't care.
Right on
if
a
I were
truck.
the owner, I wouldn't
Take
care.
a ride
do you
on a
suppose-
truck for a couple hours.
Where do you suppose his horses run
Well, he has certain, some in Serbia, but he told me in that interview that they run in Italy in a couple of places.
They're harness racing horses.
Is that what they
Yes.
are? Harness horses?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, not thoroughbreds, but harness racing.
I was
where
thinking
you got the little cart behind you.
It would be kind of fun this week if he has a big race, because didn't he say something afterwards about wanting to be home Sunday for a certain race? I think that's what he said on like the NBA TV post game, whatever. Anyway, I'd love to be able to bet on his horse.
Well, he runs those horses where you don't sit on the horse, you sit in a buggy
harness.
behind
Right.
the horse.
Yeah, harness, right.
Because Mike Malone told a story about how he went over there and they let him run sit in the
harness,
buggy,
yeah.
and Malone ran the horse way too fast, so now Jokic won't let him ride the horse anymore.
I actually did harness racing once.
You
Really?
did?
Yeah, I
Like
did
you
it.
participated
Yeah,
in it?
I did it once in Toledo. I did it once here. Where would there be harness racing here?
Los Alamitos?
Los Alamitos, exactly.
Yeah, I guess. Because they also do, what's the other, not thoroughbred racing, but what's the other one where they just run in a straight line? What is
Quarter
that?
horse?
Quarter horse racing
Yeah,
at Los
they do
Al.
all that
Yeah,
stuff at Los
yeah.
Alamitos.
See, the
yeah.
difference is you're talking to Cappy and Mace, who want to bask in all the glory.
Right.
You
And,
know what I mean?
and I'm surprised the two of you don't have more respect for people who aren't like you.
I don't have disrespect for him.
You
I
do.
just
You're
say-
forcing him to go to a parade when he
No.
doesn't want to go.
It's like you going to the Mandy's. You said earlier you wouldn't have gone to the Mandy's unless you'd been mandated.
Correct.
Right, and you
Yeah.
were mandated it.
And he was
But-
out,
I have-
and
I
he
have-
was home before anybody.
was
Yeah,
home before
but I have
anybody.
no issue with that.
Right,
but
but see, it's
I'm
about-
not Jokic. I'm not the guy who delivered the championship.
Right.
And yet you are kind of that guy who delivered the championship.
Technically,
in some
yes.
ways.
Technically, in many ways. No, I mean, I think that it goes along with being an NBA player that you're part of a parade. I mean, it shouldn't be that much torture.
But
I mean,
to
look-
him, it is. You could tell.
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know what it really is to him. I mean,
you couldn't see his hands
I
and
saw
his
I saw
holding up
his
his
face.
face.
I saw
No,
his
I
face.
want to
No,
go home.
I heard him with Lisa Salter after.
You are an NBA champion, Nikola. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now.
Yeah.
Let the guy go
That's him.
home.
That's him.
That is absolutely him.
You
and
guys,
by the
is he
way,
enjoying it?
when you enter,
No, no, he's not.
I think
It's a job. He's just punching
I
the
think
clock.
he likes to win. I think
But
he's a
to him, it's over.
right.
Right. It was
Once the competition is over, it's over.
Right.
It's the way he looks at it.
It's just a job. He punches the clock.
Correct.
He's punched out, and
It
now
is.
he goes home to Serbia
So,
with his horses.
For years, I remember having this conversation. I remember, I don't know. I don't remember when it was, but I had a conversation about running into an athlete after a big loss at a restaurant. And the fans went freaking nuts. How dare he go to this restaurant after this terrible loss? But I'm like, he's a human being. He
Right.
wants to eat a meal.
Sure.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's in the movie Fever Pitch, where
right,
they go out to dinner. Jimmy
Well,
Fallon
Boston is worse that
and
way.
somebody goes out to dinner, and Veritek and Damon and somebody else are there after they just got like wiped out by the Yankees.
Yeah.
And that exact same thing. Sedano.
But that's real because I have.
Like they were saying, how can those guys just sit here and be smiling and drinking beer?
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
the hell?
I have enough. I know enough people that have played in Boston that will tell you that the fans, if they see you out after a terrible loss, they'll get on you. It's ridiculous.
Well, Torrey Hunter told me a great story. We had Torrey Hunter on once, and he said he was negotiating his contract with the Twins, and he asked for a no-trade clause. And they said, Torrey, we don't give those. No one in the history of the Twins has had a no. Rod Carew didn't have a no-trade clause. We can't give it to you. And he said, okay, if you can't give it to me, then you have to say you can't trade me to Boston. You have to at least give me that. And they said, we'll give you that.
Oh, wow.
We will not trade you to Boston.
Yeah, it's look, everybody's different, man. Anytime I've had to do a walk-off with him,
Yeah.
I've learned immediately never to talk about the triple doubles or the individual
Yeah,
accolades.
he really doesn't care about
just
any of that
pushes
stuff.
them aside. Like he just like, I just had a good game. It is what it is. So like that's why the last question I asked was, hey, what are you going to do over the next couple of weeks? You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
and that was when he gives you an actual interesting answer.
Sure.
Mace, that's how I felt, though, about the Mandy's, Mace.
In what way?
Here's exactly how I was explaining this to George yesterday. I was trying to explain to him the emotions that I was going through yesterday afternoon.
Sure.
Because year one, I get this, host of the year, but year two, Sliwa gets host of the year, you know? And so you go from that high of being host of the year to now that low of not anymore.
Right.
But what I said to George was, I'll take more pride in the show of the year because that's a team effort versus the host of the year, which is like a Heisman Trophy without a national championship. If you're Jokic, those two MVPs, yeah, great. But I got the championship now. That's what I was really playing for.
But see, that surprised me, Kat, because I always thought you were like Mace. Mace and I have had this discussion.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Let me finish my thought. You jumped.
You're trying to finish my thought.
No, many times you and I have discussed whose career would you rather have? Player career.
Question.
Charles Barkley or Robert Horry? Mason wants Barkley. He wants the MVPs.
I'd rather be Barkley.
He's had an impact on the game.
Yeah,
in a
I'd
way
rather
that
be
Robert
Horry because I
didn't.
want the 7 rings. That's the argument that you're making, right, Cap? That you would want 7 rings before you'd want
a dominant
4 MVPs.
career and an era.
Easy for him to say after Sliwa won and he didn't repeat that.
Right.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That is
But
true.
that tells you a lot about people. Like if there are some people.
But if Cappy would have won back-to-back, do you believe he'd still would say that?
Of course not.
No.
The only thing I campaigned for was Show of the Year. I didn't campaign for any individual awards. I
But
could
George,
give a damn about individual awards.
But George, had I won Host of the Year, which obviously I didn't, and we won Show of the Year, then I would have been like, okay, that's like MVP and championship.
Right.
But MVP without championship, not as good.
Let me change subjects here. Laura Romo, who just sat down, I didn't see this Laura until just now. She weighed in on our discussion about firing. Like, would you want to be fired
on a
Zoom call or over the phone or in person? And Laura, which would you prefer?
On that note, by the way, Sam needs to see after.
Okay, I hope he's going to pay me more.
I know what she's going to say.
Laura,
I know what she's going to say.
Okay, Laura, if you have your choice, you're getting fired, okay?
Uh-huh.
You either have to, would you want your boss to call you and say, hey, Laura, come on in, I need to talk to you about something? Or would you want to say, let's do a Zoom or a phone call?
Zoom or phone call. Like, don't waste my time or my
Yes.
gas. Gas is expensive.
Zoom is kind of the halfway. You're still.
I think
I
think all of us are okay with Zoom, right?
We all grown.
Yeah.
We can take it.
By the way, what's up with the ESPN hoodie you got going on?
I got this years ago in Bristol.
Yeah?
I decided
When you went to do First Take one time? You just went into
that was always our last stop on the
ESPN
last
store?
day. We'd go to the ESPN store.
Over there in Building 2?
Yeah, exactly. So I want to end our part of the show by saying this.
Yeah.
I've said it many times. My best friend in the world is my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom today is celebrating her 81st birthday.
Way to go, Donna. Happy birthday.
She's listening right now.
Happy birthday.
She thinks that you always say bad things about me.
That's not true.
No, it is true.
Not always.
That is totally true.
Sometimes you say
No,
good
but
things
I
about me.
always say nice things about you, too.
Yeah, that's true. You do say
I
nice
balance
things and
out the
mean
good
things.
with
You're
the
right.
nice.
You do. But happy birthday to my mom. She looks great. She's working every day.
Yeah, your mom is at the Mandy's. She does look great.
She was at the Mandy's.
I know.
Now, what is
working?
not stepdad Leo doing in honor of Donna's birthday? Do you know?
I believe they're
in the desert.
They're in the desert. Yeah, I'm not going to say
You have
that.
no idea.
No, he does know, but he doesn't want to throw her under the bus.
I think
By the way, Donna, you and I were the only ones watching Mason and Ireland on TV, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You and
Mace,
my mom.
did you say mom's working every day?
She works at John Glenn Middle School in Palm Desert, California. She's actually, technically, they've gone to summer break.
By the way,
but she'll be back in the fall.
Just when you said that, just now, it swayed me back over to the other argument. We had one of our wheels of questions last week was, if you had a choice, you have to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Would you rather be an Olympic gold medal winner or an astronaut?
Mm-hmm.
No Olympic gold medals get a school named after him. There's
That's
like 20
true.
John Glenn
Yeah.
schools.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, so there you go. One for the
So
astronaut.
happy birthday, Mom. Love you.
Mace, I'm going out to the desert next week.
No, yeah? You want to go on a tour? Have you been to the Living Desert?
Well, I don't know that, but I'm Rachel and I are going out for her birthday. Maybe we should get together with Donna and non stepdad Leo.
Oh, that's
Let
a
me tell you
terrible
something.
idea
No,
for
I
you,
think
Mace.
it's a great idea
I think
if
it's
they
a
get
terrible
together.
idea.
I'm not even involved. It's just
I
them.
know, but then
That's problems.
Yeah, I'm
Why
just
would
gonna
you
be
want
a
to
thing.
do that to your mother?
Yes.
Well, here's what I would say.
Yes.
One of the top
See
10
now, Mom, I say not so nice things about Cappy every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, one of the top 10 zoos in the world is the Living Desert. Leo, not stepdad Leo, is a tour guide there.
Oh, wow.
Let not stepdad Leo take you and Rachel on a tour.
And then Donna, at dinner, you and me can sit there and talk about what we're going to do to George for all the horrible, terrible things that he says about
sounds
Mace.
entertaining to me.
And all the terrible
And then
things
just-
that he says
and then-
about me.
and then just zoom me
you know?
in.
And then and then we're gonna right. I mean, maybe we'll get those little voodoo dolls and we'll just poke away at him every time he says
Nah, it
something we
doesn't
don't
work.
like.
I'm already Cuban.
You
When
and my
Ma-
mom scheming against Shadano.
When Mason and I were doing afternoon drive back in the day, it was always a little sad when the NBA season came to an end.
Yeah.
Because all the preemptions are over.
Oh, it's over. Now we got to work for real.
Yeah, are you guys a little sad
well,
today?
it's funny. The people in the circle of trust were like, oh, now we get full shows now. And I was like, oh, yeah, we get full shows now.
Because, the dog days of summer, which is when there's just baseball going on, this is the dog days of basketball.
I actually recommended to the powers that be, hey, how about picking up some of those Angel games?
Oh, I bet.
You know?
How about all of them?
Some of those afternoon Angel
That's
games.
a little bit brilliant by you.
Right. Today they're playing in the Central Time Zone. They're out of here at 5 o'clock.
By the way, that could also help you guys.
Yeah, true. I will say this for these guys, that they did, on days that the Lakers were in the Western Conference, they horned in on part of our show. And,
They did.
And you did
We
show
did.
up. And
I did them from, I got us Tristan Thompson on the air
right.
for 10 seconds.
We had an up close and personal with Tristan Thompson. I feel like I know him now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad he was only on for 10 seconds so Cappy didn't ask him like Kardashian
Oh,
questions.
that's right.
So
You
you
know
know
that
he
was
would have, too.
coming.
He's actually a really nice guy.
Oh, he is incredible.
Honestly, I wouldn't have even known the Kardashian part of any of that.
Well, just
come
stick
on,
with me,
Cap.
Cap. I'll fill
Seriously.
you completely in on all of it.
All right. We're done. Coming up next for you, lots of stupidity and some sports, too, I think.
I mean, way more stupidity now without the sports.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Maximum stupidity.
Yeah.
Next. See you tomorrow at 1, 710 ESPN.
Hi, I'm Olympic gold